gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good morning everybody and welcome live to this, well, from my perspective, a extremely very early morning stream. Well, actually, do you know what? Stuff that, it ain't early morning for me. I'm normally at work by now, but it's 6:30 in the morning UK time, and straight away I am going to say hello to, simply put, every single individual in that chat, because you guys, this is what myself and myself and Jason do it for, really. Matt Brunton, good morning. Brett Mollison, hello there. He's listening while he's on a drive. fantastic. Gavin Gould, good morning. Squally D, Keyboy, J-Boy, Jacob Bull, tuned in at work, miserable day here in Sydney. Well, hopefully this will cheer you up. David Bradshaw, Statman's there. Gabriel DeRop, Arman Dillon, if you can come live on air and talk about the fact that you're, 5th, 6th, 7th in the Cash Money League. You know, the forum is there for you to talk, my friend. Marco, Hodzik, Rakesh, Saha. Like I said, welcome all. These streams are for you guys, the guys that are in the Southern Hemisphere, shall we just say. And I am fully aware that myself and Jason stopped our last show last night at 10:30 UK time. So what's that? About 8 hours ago. So essentially, I'm doing a double shift, but I couldn't care less. I was going to be planning on doing a morning stream some point this week, and I thought I think it's best to do it this morning because this is probably the best opportunity I've got. And there's a lot of, I'm not going to lie, this is a bit of shameless self-promoting, so to speak, but I'm in a dilemma. Now, I've entitled the stream as Wildcard Discussion because if you haven't seen, last night I hit a -4, and up on screen at the moment is the transfer page of my particular team. Now, the players that I've taken out as of now, if I was to wildcard, would be Sterling, Cantwell, Gilbert, Zinchenko and Rico. Now I'm just going to quickly show you the transfers that I did last night. If you haven't seen the stream, I did a -4 live on air because I just didn't like certain players in my team. I had 2 free transfers and I'm thinking I need to get Aubameyang. He's a freak of nature. So my -4 last night was Ashley Barnes, Ceballos and Van Dijk to Aubameyang, Cantwell, and I had 4.1 in the bank and I bought in Rico. I'm just not happy with it. A bit like with Jason's team, the defence is just awful, and I'm one of these players that prefers having, despite the fact I'm going against everything that I've been saying this season, I like to have 3. When I use the word premium premium defenders, I mean from top 6 teams, and or if a player is 6 million or a defender's 6 million plus. So in this case, Digne as an example, and I'm fully aware that some people classify premium as just meaning 6.5 or above. I get that from a defender point of view, but in my terminology, I use it as 6 million or above for a defender, or if they play for a top team. And I look at that, and if I'm going with a 3-5-2 formation, which is my preferred formation, having Rico, having Lundstrom, having Gilbert, albeit Gilbert got me a miraculous clean sheet last night. I say miraculous, to be fair. It sounded like it was going to end 0-0 full stop, but I'm just not happy with it, and I am very, very tempted with the wildcard. But I mean, I know I'm all over the place at the moment. I just mentioned in the chat just now, if you are wanting to come live on air, then just simply get in the Discord waiting room. Just above the waiting room, there is a team screenshots menu. I'll quickly bring it up on screen so anybody that is brand new to this doesn't have a clue what I'm talking about. That's fine. So on the left hand side of the screen, as you will see, it says team screenshots just above the waiting room. So if you are wanting to come live on air, as you can see, Statman's there and so is Phil. Just simply post your team in that area. Please do not post anything in there unless you're coming live on the podcast. So yeah, if you wanted to come live on air, just simply get onto Discord. And if you're wanting to tell your friends that we are live on air now, why not tweet out at Elite FPL is live now, or retweet our stuff that I've been posting this morning. It's on at Elite FPL. Just retweet our stuff, and we'll get a few more people involved. But like I said, I think I'm just going to talk for quite a while, doing a Steve-O solo, so to speak. I genuinely am in a dilemma at the moment. I don't like the fact of taking a -4. Like I said, I had a, what do you call it, 2 free transfers, and I did it last night. And is it because, simply put, is it because that Jason did a -16? I don't know. Good morning, Davey FPL. I hope you answer my question on your video. I'm probably answering it myself on my own screen, but no, in all seriousness, I'm having one of those seasons where just nothing seems to be going right. Although I have been, I say reading a lot, I haven't. I've seen quite a few people mentioning that this season seems to be all about cash mini leagues, and at the moment I don't really care about the overall rank. It's more the cash mini league that all of us take seriously. And obviously me and Jason did the review last night over the cash mini league, and we'll just clarify who is the top 4 now. And congratulations to Andrew Fong, spent with an F. He is now top of the cash mini league, 347 points. He's 1 point clear of former number 1, Show Me the Mane. And then he is only 2 points ahead of Manchester Reds. He was in the chat last night. And Marlon Moore down to 4th. Arman Dillon, where have you dropped down to? You're down to 8th. You want to come live on air? You know what to do, just get in the Discord. I am all the way down in 62nd spot. And again, this league is so tight. And I'm fully aware that there's a lot of people in our mini league, which, I mean, there's Brett Mollison just above me. I mean, I'm only 2 points behind Brett, for crying out loud. But there's just such a small points margin between me and 4th spot, so to speak. And I am looking more at the players around me now than I am the people above me, because the people above me have got pretty much the same team as me, and I'm kind of taking a bit of inspiration from Jason, I suppose, in a way, by getting ahead of the curve. I googled that, by the way. It is getting ahead of the curve. But I need to stop looking at the top 4 in our mini league. I need to stop worrying about anything other than my home team, as everybody says. And the issue is I'm not worried about it. If we just quickly look at my team that I had yesterday, or this game week, whatever, same difference. You know, the biggest screamer is the fact that I had Punky 2nd sub, but again, we're not going to go over what we all thought about that particular game. 38 points, an absolute bonus. Gilbert coming in with a clean sheet last night. Absolute bonus. Talking of bonus, it's a shame that I didn't actually get any bonus from Gilbert, but you know, it's one of those where he didn't really get much. What do you call it? Much creativity within the game, despite the fact that I kept constantly hearing his name, but nothing seemed to have gone well for that. But yeah, it's an odd one. And in answer to Vish's question, have you wildcarded Steve-O? I'm seriously contemplating it, and this is the team that I had yesterday. The team I have now is this. So for anybody not listened a few minutes ago, or anybody that hasn't watched the stream back last night, has no idea what's going on. Last night, nowhere near as dramatic as Jason's transfer of -16. I took a -4. I got rid of Ashley Barnes, Ceballos and Van Dijk for Aubameyang, Cantwell and Rico. And the question was asked to Jason, has he regretted that? Minus 16. He said no. He said it's game week 5. He's got the players that he wants. I'm questioning my minus 4, if I'm honest with you, because I kind of wanted to do either 2 free transfers, which would have been, as an example, Tammy Abraham in for Ashley Barnes, and Sabellis was going no matter what. He was gone, a complete waste of space. but the reason why I'm laughing is because it was Statman and Matt Brunton that put up one of the funniest. In fact, you know what? I'll bring it up for you guys because it was absolutely hilarious. What they posted in the Discord a few minutes ago regarding my quotes. It did make me chuckle. But Matt Brunton's wonderful picture that he put up, here it is here, absolutely hilarious. So Matt Brunton posted this up in the Discord, and I think this sums up everything. He's wearing white, that's the main thing. But I mean, there's Matt Brunton there saying that you're ahead of the curve already with the Aubameyang pick. Yes, you are right, but as I've mentioned, it's the Rico. It's Cantwell. Despite Cantwell's fantastic form at the moment, it's not great. I mean, there's straight away Mark Antigua, don't wildcard. Lloyd AJ, I would captain differential for a few game weeks. Well, ironically, I've had my captain. Well, I had my captain on a differential in Punky versus West Ham, failed. I initially had my captaincy on De Bruyne versus when he got his 11 points, and I've completely forgotten who it was against, but let's just quickly find out. Brighton, wasn't it? I'm sure it was Brighton. Yeah, Brighton. I had the captaincy on him, but I took it off and I went with the safety of you-know-who, Sterling. Albeit Sterling did return in that specific game with... Oh no, he didn't. Well, there we are. I mean, Keyboy's in the chat now. He took my words of wisdom and actually went with the Kevin De Bruyne transfer. But like I said, I've got my transfer page up on screen at the moment, and as I keep stating, the players that I would personally get rid of are, well, Greenwood, get him gone. Cantwell, get him gone. Rico. This is if I was to wildcard, by the way. Gilbert. These are the 4 which I'm not particularly overjoyed with. Now, admittedly, they're all just complete bench fodder junk. Downgrading Salah to Mane, Sterling to Aguero. I mean, if we were to get rid of these 2, again, this is just purely based on possible wildcard decisions here. I definitely want to. I love Jason's. I've got to say, Jason's front line of Aguero, Pukki, and Aubameyang is superb. Those 3 there are fantastic, but the detrimental effect it has on your overall team is really, really bad. I mean, if we were to throw in Mane as an example, another player that I'd yeah, I mean, even if I was to get Son in, it's so difficult. Anyway, like I said, let's get some calls on. Let's go and hear what people have to say, because I don't know how... Well, this stream's going to go on for at least 2 hours, minimum of 2 hours. So we've got plenty of time to dwell over what's going on. It's all down to the conversation that we have. So we'll bring on... Do you know what? We'll bring on 2 people together, okay? So I'm going to instantly... In fact, do you know what? I'm going to talk to Statman straight away. Because he's put up something in the general chat which has made me chuckle. And then we're going to bring Phil on as well. So we're going to have 3 of you on. Well, 3 of us on air. But we'll start with Statman first. Good evening, Statman, and good good evening to you in New Zealand, and good morning from me from the UK.
All right, Steve-O.
I'm
How's
very
it going?
I'm very well, my friend. I just want to address the the bit that you said here. The bit that really cracked you up on last night's stream was when the individual was eating when they called in. Jason played the school teacher telling him off. Then obviously felt a bit bad. Anyway, what you eating? Anything nice? No, not really. Just chicken and rice. Was like David Brent moment off The Office.
It was, wasn't it?
You missed the line that I came out with. I don't know if you caught it or not when I said that's how you get big, Boona, because I was speaking with I was speaking with a guy at work yesterday about how he wants to put on size and everything, and he was saying how he's been eating chicken and broccoli. I went, yeah, that'll get you big. But anyway, we're not here to talk about how to get big in the gym or whatever. We're here to talk fantasy football. Kev, I'm going to be polite and I'm going to start with your team because you've gone ahead of me, easily gone ahead of me. Whereabouts are you in the Cash Mini League now? In the first page?
Yeah. I think I'm 23rd or something around there.
No, you're not. What?
Or 33rd.
No, you're 23rd. Wow.
Am I?
What the?
Oh yeah, 23rd.
I nearly
Yeah.
swore then. Well done.
Not a bad jump there. Pretty pleased with that.
Whoa. 23rd you played. Well, we all know your trades. You played. We all know you played your triple captain. 70 points. Oh my God! You must be loving life.
With the old catchphrase. Yeah. 2 good weeks. 79 and then a 70. And that's why I try to say the previous streams, like you should never worry too much because it just takes a couple of looks and you can fly up any table. So I'm over the moon.
What?
Over the moon.
I'm just going to quickly see how many points you're off. I need to use another website, would you believe, to find out how far off. So you're on 305, and where's fourth spot? 305, 4 spots on 343. So what's that? 38 points, something roughly like that, off fourth spot.
Yeah.
So good on you, Kev. So what? I know we've got Champions League and everything moving forward and stuff. It's game week 5, or we've just had game week 5 and everything. How are you now feeling up to this point of the season?
Quietly confident, Steve-O. I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but I always was. And it was kind of blessing in disguise having to pick it up from the bottom end of the table. I felt like in my mini leagues and in this league, you don't get anyone watching what you're doing. You can just slowly do the homework behind the scenes and try and make the right moves. And it's not like the lads at the top. They're always a point of conversation. Everyone's watching them, that was me last year. I got off to a much better start, and I stayed there. Don't get us wrong, but this year it was totally different, having zero pressure on. So, team-wise, I like my team. And one thing I've learned over the past few seasons is not always to be looking over the neighbour's fence at how green the grass is. And you can't have everyone. I'd love to have Son in, I'd love to have Aubameyang in, etc. But I'm not going to dismantle a team that's doing well, chasing who I think's going to continue to do well that I haven't got. Like Jason, having a panic attack, and I see a lot of big hits happening, and I just think be cautious where you can, but each to their own.
You were lucky that Montoya didn't start this particular game week, so you got Campbell off the bench. Now, you've just heard me talking about my dilemma of having, let's be honest here, rubbish defenders in my team. You're in exactly the same boat as me. Your thoughts this season on only having, well, let's be brutally honest here, maybe one quote-unquote premium defender and then maybe 4 rubbish ones, sorry, and then just rotating them.
Yeah. Well, look, so far, I posted someone on Twitter. In the top 15 scorers, the first defender you see this season pop up's that Vestergaard
Mm.
from Southampton. You don't see Trent, you don't see Robbo, you don't see Mendy and Laporte and stuff. So can't argue that there isn't much argument for having um uh, you know the premiums at the back at the minute. I was stuck for a choice on what to do with Wan-Bissaka this weekend, and I really planned on keeping him if he was going to play. I fancied Man U to beat Leicester and to keep a clean sheet. It was only the fact that I thought he wasn't going to play that made us jump on Vertonghen, because I wanted Trent, but I only wanted Trent. I didn't fall in the trap of going Matip because I don't think Liverpool will keep many clean sheets over the next 5 or 6 games. So therefore, you may as well have a rubbish defender in that sense. Do you know what I mean, Steve-O? If unless you're getting someone like Trent or Digne who are more likely to get you attacking returns than the average 4.5. But yeah, I quite like at the minute chopping and changing, and having like 4 budget players rotating for 2 spots. It's working quite well at the minute and allows us to go pretty heavy in midfield and have Aguero up top.
Remind me, you're doing the rotational pairing of whichever defender, basically Montoya or Lundstram, with Cantwell, is that right?
Yeah, well, it was Lundstram, Cantwell, Montoya and Kelly. Now Kelly's injured. He's out the equation, which is a shame because, you know, he done really well for us on the couple of games I've played him. So yeah, so next week, I click next week. So next week I'm basically choosing between Montoya and Lundstram. Both of them are away. Montoya's away to us. He's at Newcastle, and Lundstram's away to Everton. So that is a real coin flip. I'm not really too sure what I'm going to do there, but I'm definitely not going to waste a transfer on it. Because when you look at the fixtures, it's hard to pick a clean sheet when you look at the fixtures so far this season.
Well, you say
really
that.
is.
I don't think it is difficult to pick a clean sheet. It's the fact that no one's keeping clean sheets. That's the difference. An example being you guys at home, you guys away at Liverpool, Man City away at Norwich. That's just two off the top of my head from this game week alone. I don't think it is down to not being able to predict clean sheets. It's the fact that no one seems to be wanting to keep clean sheets. And I think that for myself, it seems like now I'm having this conversation with you as if I'm copying your team. I did not know any of this information until literally 5 minutes ago when you joined us on air. And I'm thinking, maybe me and Jason were discussing this 2 days ago actually, and we were saying about, is it really worth having quote unquote premium defenders, and it'd be better off having a cheaper defence. And we've just had a nice little €5 donation from Resi Desi, aka Andy 1998. Thank you for that. You're a legend, Steve-O. The grind is real. # eat sleep elite repeat. Now that, there you are, Jason. There you are, Alex Volo. Alex Volo, the wonderful creator of our thumbnails. I think that is a beautiful, beautiful logo for you to make up. I think Jason and Alex, I think you two can come together, bring up an idea, and whenever I read something like this, for all you wrestling fans or UFC fans, if you know Brock Lesnar, every time I read something like that, I just instantly think Brock Lesnar. But again, only FPL Penguin will appreciate that particular. But back to fantasy football.
That's for sure.
Back to fantasy football and discussing Statman's team here, and the fact that going without premium defenders is a good thing. I want to kind of reverse this on me. So we'll discuss Jason's 16.6 point hit in a minute. But what are your thoughts on my -4 last night?
Can you just refresh me memory, Steve?
Yeah,
I
sure.
listened to it today.
So I got rid of Barnes, Ceballos and Van Dijk, and to fund Aubameyang, I had to bring in Cantwell and Rico, so along with Aubameyang. So the team's up on screen now if you got it in front of you. But
I can see it.
so essentially, I've got.
I love their moves. Love their moves.
You're a fan,
like
then?
you say, Van Dijk. Like, I know he pops up with headers, but that's about it. He'll get headed goals. So, Liverpool aren't going to keep many clean sheets. And Cantwell, although he's a downgrade in price, he's an upgrade in quality of play and points haul. So you've got to be happy with him, surely. And Aubameyang, I envy Aubameyang not having him. So, I massively agree.
I've been told by a couple of Arsenal fans at work that, simply put, now Aubameyang's through the middle for definite.
Yep.
With Lacazette out, he's going to be scoring goals for fun. Now, me being this kind of FPL player, like with anything where I'm constantly second guessing myself, I just have this gut feeling that Aubameyang's going to blank against Aston Villa and Barnes is going to score versus Norwich, and you get the idea. But in all seriousness, I'd like to think that Arsenal against Aston Villa are going to come out of that a minimum of 3 goals, and Aubameyang with a minimum of a goal and an assist to his name in that particular game. If he doesn't come out with anything, if he comes out with anything less than that, I'd be very, very, very disappointed in those returns, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, it's Aston Villa, and I know they put up a good performance last night, but they're at the Emirates, and Arsenal's record at home against anybody is excellent, but especially these, shall we say, poorer teams. They will just dismantle you, and I don't think he's going to play in the Europa League because Unai Emery does not play any of his players in Europa League. So we'll move on to Jason's team, and I know that he's live in chat. Good morning, Jason. What were your thoughts on Jason's -16 that he took live on air, despite the fact that it was a wonderful, wonderful moment live on air? The reality is that he took a -16. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, I'm not one I'm not a negative person in FPL or in general. So I don't like it when people start sticking the boot in. But for me, I don't think I could take a -16 after a wild card. I just maybe that's to my detriment. Maybe Jason had the right idea by saying he made the mistakes and he was putting them right. But you could go back a step further and say he didn't need to hit the wild card, with the 2 transfers he'd made, or the 3 for the -4 or the -8 for Abraham etc. I just think it's kind of like you're hitting a bit of a slippy slope. What happens if this goes wrong? What happens if the -16 goes wrong? That's the only thing that would worry you.
I've got his team up on screen for everybody. That, again, if you don't know, a co-host and, let's be brutally honest here, the creator of everything in front of you, Jason, who's live in chat. So if you want to talk to Jason, he is live in chat right now. But his team's up on screen at the moment, and he did a -16, and I can't even think what he even did now. But he definitely got rid of. Well, he brought in Aubameyang, Punky, Mane, and Lansbury, and I think he may have brought in somebody else. So, it would have been Lansbury, So, Aubameyang, Mane, Pookie and Lansbury in. I forget who he got rid of. I'm not even going to consider going back through his team again. But what are your opinion on the front 3 of Aubameyang, Pookie and Aguero, though? I just think it's gorgeous.
It is. Like you say, I'm going with Pookie and Aguero. So the thought of having Aubameyang with them is tantalising, and I'm just looking through. I don't know where he sacrificed quality. He's obviously going without Sterling, isn't he? But yeah, it does look like a good team, doesn't it, Steve?
Well, I said at the time the 5: De Bruyne, Mane, Aguero, Pookie, Aubameyang, superb. The rest of it, Iwobi. Well, despite what I've been saying, well, not necessarily me, but what people have been saying about Iwobi, that could potentially pay off. Daniel James, what I've been hearing has been a bit quote-unquote lucky. And then the defence, okay, I know we've just talked about having a really, really weak defence and everything, but I'm not that great a fan of it. The actual... The goalkeeper situation, yes, admittedly, Klopp has come out and pretty much said that Alisson's going to be back probably after the international break, so he's still got a minimum of maybe 2-3 weeks left of Adrian, so fair play. But it's those 5 attacking players which I absolutely adore. Snapman, I'm going to bring on a special guest because it's very, very rare that I get the opportunity to speak with this individual, and I really want to speak with him because he's doing so well in a minute. And apologises, Phil. I know I did say that I'd bring you on, but you know how it is. Just conversations are flowing further. I will be getting you on if you're still available, but I want to be bringing on Arman Dillon because he has been a supporter, number 1 of this show. I would say he's probably our number 1 fan of the Elite FPL podcast, if I'm honest with you, because he has been with us since day 1, virtually, since we come on YouTube, and it's very, very rare that we get the opportunity to do a live call with him. And what's even more important is that because I'm doing it now, we get to speak to him now, and I'm hoping that, as he's just mentioned, his microphone's all okay, and we'll be able to get him on now. Special guest, Arman Dillon. It's an honour. Welcome.
Hey, hello there, Steve-O.
Good morning, Arman. If you could just turn the stream down or off or anything. We're just getting a bit of feedback on there. I'm getting a bit of an echo, so if you just mute the stream, do whatever you can possible, because I really want to speak to you. And a bit like with Jason and Andy Salter last night, unfortunately the conversation between them two was a coherent one from Jason, but Andy Salter was breaking up every 5 minutes. I don't want to be losing you because people are just hearing constant echoing. So if you could just mute the stream, turn it off, do whatever you can, because I do want to talk to you about your FPL team so far this season, because you are doing absolutely amazingly. So, Arman, welcome back. Oh no, he's gone. He's now gone. Oh no, he was there and then he just disappeared. Oh man, please, you've got to try and somehow attempt to come back on, because we really, 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 not just me, not just Jason, but everybody wants to hear from you, because like I said, you are a massive supporter of the show, and you've just vanished off the oh, there he is. He's back. Phew. Oh man, are you back? Oh. Come on, man. I know Jason was there. Man, welcome. Maybe I should have told him to turn the stream off. Man, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Right. Hopefully there'll be no echo, and I'm going to persist with this.
Yeah, I don't live in a cave.
Right, so Jason, just to give you some feedback, you just need to turn down your speakers. That's it.
Yeah, I've turned them down.
Okay, cool.
They're off.
No worries at all. Right then, let's start talking your season so far in FPL, because you are 8th in our Cash Mini League. You're doing really, really well at the moment. You've had a very good week this week with 56 points. You had Sun in there, Punky. You've got Mings that played last night, Salah, of course. Oh man, take it away, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, 56 seems good, but it seems average. Actually, maybe I'm asking for too much. But just the captaincy, the last 3 weeks has just been a miss. The first 2 weeks were great. I've actually slipped down from 900 or something to about 25,000.
Yeah,
went down to 40, then came back.
Yeah, I've got it up on screen now. You were the highest rank you've been this season was officially 2,709th, You've now dropped down to 26,000. You're doing a bit of a Stevo. You've just got red. You've started off, well, unlike me, that I didn't start off well. You started off phenomenally, but unfortunately you've just seen, like me, red. What are you putting this down to? Just captaincy choices?
Captaincy choices, mostly like my vice captains have been outscoring my captains, so I haven't been taking the call like which I should be. And I don't know, maybe it's just because a lot of people are going for the same players and the number of players have increased, throughout the years. So, I mean, this is the best ever start I've got for the last 2 years. So,
yeah, I'm
happy with that so far.
I'm going through your team since game week 1. Game week 1, you had 92 points. The following game week, 77. The captaincy didn't go quite so well in game week 2 with Salah only getting you 3 points. But it was other players around you that did really well in Punky, De Bruyne and Digne and Lundstrom. You played Lundstrom that game week. Well done to you. The following game
legend.
week, like you stated, you didn't captain Sterling when he got his hat-trick, and you captained... Oh no, sorry, you did captain Sterling. My apologies. You didn't captain Salah when Salah got 15 points and Sterling only got 8. We move on to game week 4, which was last week. Again, like you said, captaincy failed and your vice captain and Allaire did better. And then we move on to your latest game week in game week 5. Like you stated, just the captaincy. So
check out the 16 points by Son, by the way.
Yeah. But that's just, I always say this, they're just bonus, like major bonus points, because I don't think, you'd be honest, you wouldn't have captained Son this week ahead of Sterling or even Salah.
No, I wouldn't. I know.
So
maybe this week, I don't know, maybe actually everything points towards captaining Sterling. But, since I'm going to put my vice captain on Son, I'm scared again, like the vice captain is going to outscore the captain.
You're only, I can't even do that. You're 13 points from what I can see off 4th spot. There's barely anything of it in it, and then you're 17 points off.
I'm 17
off top.
Yeah, 17 points off first place.
Yeah.
It'll take about 2 weeks, just to probably, if everything goes right, it'll take about 2 weeks to get on top.
So you've been, I don't want to keep banging on about this, but you have been part of this podcast, YouTube channel, whatever, since virtually day 1. And in fact, funny enough,
day 1 or probably the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, it would probably be what? This is probably the year anniversary, because we started on YouTube in game week 4 last year. On YouTube, I think. And you've been there ever since. And now you're part of the Cash Mini League that we're talking about. And how are you finding the pressure of being so high up in this Cash Mini League? How are you dealing with it?
See, I'm not number 1 right now, so there's no pressure. I'm just in the top 10, but I think I'll be able to manage the pressure, because it's not. This is like one of those seasons where this is my best season. Like last season, I stayed just because of making safe choices and just following the crowd. I was always between 19k and I finished 93k. Just because of making safe choices and everything like that. So this season, I've just thought about actually mixing it up and probably taking a few more chances. Like even if you see on the team screenshots, the new team which I'm playing now, I've already made my transfers. So I've gone for a power midfield.
Okay. We'll bring that up. We'll bring that up in a second. But go on, carry on talking about your latest team.
Like talking about earlier when you guys started, I was speaking to Dan, on chat. So I was telling him like I still remember like the first, I was probably, first 15 subscribers or something. And I was probably the first guy who actually wrote a couple of questions in chat, because there were just, I think, 3-4 people watching. And I was wondering, like, nobody for 10 minutes is saying anything. So yeah.
I always remember.
I was like, these guys are great, and this is a great stream, and I just wanted to somehow just. Anyways, like the growth has been amazing. I love it. I mean, I know for sure that it's going to just keep on growing and going higher and higher. And yeah, I wish you all the best for that.
I remember, but it's down to people like you, mate. I always remember when there's two names that stick out for me when I was having a private conversation. It literally lasted 6 seconds after the stream last night. And one thing I love about Jason is the fact that he's got this, I'm sure Statman will appreciate this, he's got this kind of really underlying dark sense of sarcastic humour. That's what I pick up from him. And when we first started streaming, two names which I always remember where he would kind of chuckle at, and this is no disrespect whatsoever, because you have now become, you two individuals have become key to the success of this show. It was the way he started chuckling at yourself, Arman Dillon, and Daily Llama. And it was nothing at the fact that of your names, it was the fact that we couldn't believe people were joining us live, because Daily Llama is somebody that's been with us at the very, very early stages, and every time you come on we were just like, huh, here he is, Arman Dillon, he's here, and here he is, here's Daily Llama. I wonder what they're going to be talking to us about. And yeah, like you said,
it was fun. I mean, like those first few chats, like I know, like it's really grown and everything, but I remember those first couple of months, like it was really good fun actually. You guys interacting with us, and we had a blast. I'm sure I remember at least 15 names.
Yeah, and
even John Harris, and there's so many people. I still remember those 15 people or 20 people. We used to keep on chatting with each other, with you guys. That was great fun. And like the best thing about your channel is that it's informative, you get good information, and it's entertaining at the same time. So I mean, that's why I consider it to be probably the best FPL stream which is there on YouTube.
Thank you, really, really appreciate the kind words. And it's interesting you mentioned people like John Harris and whatnot, is because these guys, not only have they stuck with us since whenever they've been with us, they still come on the show. And yes, they may not be able to come and join us live on air like you are now, but they're still in the chat room, they're still in the Discord group that we've created. I mean, can you just let our audience know that if anybody that isn't part of the Discord group, again, you're somebody that's been here since day dot.
I joined the Discord group the day you formed it.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. Like.
Oh. He hasn't gone, has he? No. The irony. We're talking about the Discord group and it's gone and cut him off for some reason. Oh no. Hopefully we'll get Arman back. Statman, are you still there? Well, I know you're still there, but you're still in the on-air section. Are you still there, mate?
Yeah, mate, I'm here.
Yeah. Your quick thoughts on the, as somebody that is a huge member of the Discord community, your thoughts on the Discord group that's grown since pre-season, basically.
Yeah, it's brilliant, honestly, man. I took a step back from social media over the last year for reasons we'll not get into, and it's just filled that massive gap, I've got a young daughter, I work a lot, and it's just a great way to chat to people, especially when we have the sessions on the Hangout. They can be hilarious, when you get Llama in there, and Boona, and all the usual suspects, and it's just good. There's a few lads from Oz and NZ who plan to meet up and have a beer over Christmas. One of the lads is heading up from Sydney to where I'm at in Nelson, and I said, yeah, I'll meet up with you and your missus and show you around town. So it goes beyond FPL. Like, it really is a little community.
That's amazing, because would you agree with, and I can only apologise, and I wanted to ask Jason last night, but I didn't get the opportunity to, but there was an individual that I had, it was the last caller of the stream that I did on God, I can't even remember what day it is. Was it Sunday or Saturday? I can't even remember. Whatever day Jason did his minus 16. It was Sunday.
Yeah.
And I had one final caller on, and he came on and he made these. He said this, and I was just sat there like, yeah, there's nothing I can add. Which is, do you find with the community that we've built, that we're building here, it's how can I say this? It's not about gaining information per se. It's like we're all this one massive group meeting, having just a conversation, and then when we go live on air, we're still part of the conversation, and you guys get involved, and you guys are then making friends with each other. You've just said that you're going to be having a meet up with one of the members of the community. It really is just something that's just linking us all perfectly together, and this Cash Mini League is really, well, when it starts getting to the serious end of the season, it's just going to be fascinating to see where everything moves regarding friendships then.
Yeah, it's going to be epic. Like you say, we're only 5 game weeks in, and you couldn't even remember half of the hilarious incidents and the big moments. So, like you say, wait till game week 36, 37, 38. It's going to be absolutely incredible. And like all the side leagues, you know, the head-to-head and the last man stand. I actually beat Arman Dillon this week in the head-to-head,
really?
I've only just put that together when I had a little flick back. So yeah, I beat him in the head-to-head. But even stuff like that, you know, it gets you chatting on a one-to-one with the opponent you've got. You know, like that's how I got chatting to Zulu Ninja, who you then find out's from Middlesbrough, and you get chatting on Twitter, and it does. It goes beyond FPL. It really does.
Well, I know Arman Dillon's he's still in chat. I'm just going to assume, unfortunately, it's mic issues or some form of internet issue. You're more than welcome to come back on air, my friend, because I really, 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 I just want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about your season so far. I really do, because it's just fascinating, and I want to hear. I'm not going to lie. I want Arman Dillon to basically promote, you know, this show about why people should get involved in the Discord, because this guy here has been part of it, our show, since day one, and he's now evolved into a stage where not only is he just writing on a keyboard a question for myself, Jason, or former co-host Dan, he can now come live on air and talk about his team that's doing so well in the Cash Mini League. But talking of members of the community, I'm going to bring Phil on. I don't know why he's not working, but we'll find out. Phil, good morning to you.
Morning, Steve. How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, why aren't you at work?
No, I'm a night worker. I normally don't finish work till 6 a.m.
Right,
so this is
okay.
sort of downtime.
Downtime, blimey, you call this downtime, discussing this ridiculous game week so far. I'll bring up your team in a minute, but if you want to talk about just briefly the wonderful community that we're building on Discord.
It's the greatest place. It's the greatest gift to FPL that you guys have put together. There's no place like it. Any serious FPL player should be on our Discord group.
Can I ask you, it's a bit of a weird question, but do you find it... This is going to sound really weird because you've been coming on this show since pre-season, I know that much. Do you find it weird coming live on air?
No, it's just like being the same chatting in Discord with the other guys.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. You saw the other day Jason's minus 16. Now we've had a couple of days well, not even that really, a couple of days reflection. Your thoughts now on his minus 16 that he took?
I still do think it's good. I mean, the moves he's made, I think in the top 30 or so of the Cash League, Aubameyang's not that owned. He's got Aguero as well. The week that them two completely fire, he rockets up the league. Absolutely rockets up the league.
And let's be honest here, this week could be that week that those two absolutely fire.
Yeah. I think you've done a while. I did come on the stream because was worried you had clicked the Wildcard as well. So I wanted to try and offer you a few bits of advice.
Carry on, you carry on speaking.
Well, one thing is just the jumps aren't that big at the moment. And also, I can't remember who it was, but someone mentioned there's still 33 weeks left. So if you imagine all the opponents above you in our league at the moment. Over them 33 weeks, if you imagine all of them as head-to-heads with each of them, if you can manage to win, say, 20 against 13 or 22 against 11, you're going to take them people over, Steve. So don't worry too much about it. And especially you're in a great place. You've still got all your chips, your wildcard. You're in a good place to do it.
What are your actual thoughts on the transfers that I did 8 hours ago?
Yeah, I think yours are really good.
Do you?
The same. Also, I know your two, mate, as you mentioned last night. The overall thing you're not too much worried about, but the cash league and your battle with Jason, I feel they're your two main targets over the season. Would you agree?
As Jason said, I'm smiling because we have these private conversations all the time, and it's just so funny when I see Jason basically just genuinely, seriously asking me a question about fantasy football, and he's like, "Look, Steve-O, rivalry aside, forget all that. I need your advice." And he makes the point, like live on air or even behind the scenes, that for me and him, I think it's just a competitive edge because we're both hosting a show together. That's what it is.
And that's another point that makes the show so good. The times when you had your disappointment in game week 1 with because Jason had Ryan in goal and you lost your clean sheet at the end, was it, or something like that?
I can't even remember.
Like the same as Kev just said then, there's so many funny things happening all the time on Discord, 24 hours a day. You'll just pop in there. There's always someone in Rate My Team in general, in the Hangouts. Lama just mentioned the 20 minutes before the deadline. You should somehow try and host them on live and just let the Hangouts do the work. Some of the stuff that happens in there is just pure gold, Steve. What happens in there before a deadline?
I'll be honest with you, and I'll be honest with... See, this is the thing. I feel like I'm just having a conversation with you. In reality, I'm having a conversation with about 20 people that are watching us live right now. And then the amount of people that watch it on the replay. But I'll be completely honest with you. Our vision for this show is so high that I think Jason joked, whether this was live on air or in a private conversation, he joked that we'll be in a studio in 2 years' time and we'll be doing some form
100%.
of some form
100%
of
that happens.
fantasy football radio show where you guys basically get to come live on air. You just mentioned just then about doing a stream before deadline and basically having the conversation between you guys in the waiting room, hangouts, whatever.
Exactly. You two don't even need to be there. If you can just put it so that mic's on and playing through live, that does the work for itself.
Yeah, and what I'm getting at is that unfortunately, due to, in Jason's case, family commitments, in my case, work commitments, I can't. But what I will say, and this is... I don't know what I'm just going to say it. So long as everybody that is a major supporter of what we do...
You're breaking up a bit, Stephen.
So long as people that support this show as heavily as you guys do and want us to succeed with what we're doing, it can happen. It can happen. I'm not going to go into exact details, but myself and Jason received our first check, shall we say, from YouTube. And let's just put it this way, it was for 3 months worth of streaming, and the check was significantly higher than I expected. Let's just leave it at that. Now, based on that, if we can somehow formulate something in which we can get the support from everybody, whether it's from you guys, this is why we keep banging on about liking the stream, subscribing to the stream, this is why we keep banging on about Twitter and everything, because the broader range we get, the bigger show this becomes, which means that in turn we can then do a better stream for you guys, and we can become how can I say this? A more of a I keep saying this, like a daily stream. And what I find really, 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 really fascinating is that the bigger we get, the more me and Jason think, oh God, we're going to get trolls, we're going to get pieces of, I nearly swore then, pieces of garbage coming on and everything. And I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, barring the odd plonker, the odd prat.
There was a few. I remember when the other week when from the J&O stream we had one or two come in, but I think that was quite a popular show. You are going to get them coming in. But I mean, we've got great admins in place. We've been doing good policing it. So
yeah, absolutely. But my point being is that despite the fantastic work, for instance, Matt Brunton does, Daily Llama does, G-Wiz, he's here live at the moment, does moderating the chat and everything. I have the chat live up on screen. Jason has the stream, the chat live up on stream, and it's very, very rare that you get anybody sending in a volatile message that gets gone.
No.
99% of what we see or I see that's deleted is actually because it's contained a swear word. For example, Aston Villa are beep, and it just gets deleted because we're a family-friendly show. And
it's the same mentality within Discord as well. In Discord, the only thing that you ever see get deleted is when someone's ranting about a player or team.
Yeah, exactly. And going on to the point where you were saying about a stream before deadline day, I would love to be able to do some form of structure where we could do live before deadline, go for a break for however long it is, like 2 hours, come back live during the 3 o'clock kickoffs, go for break, cover the evening kickoff, the evening game, go for break, and then do a late night stream like Jason did the other day. That is my vision. That's just Saturday alone. You then get Sunday, where I would love to be able to cover the games, and then go into looking over what's happened at night. We've even discussed, I even spoke privately with funny enough, with Statman. I actually said this, that I was even thinking I do the morning streams and Jason does evening streams. A bit like, how radio shows work.
Yeah.
And that's another vision of mine. Again, these are all conversations.
And then we can have drive time with Boona.
Yeah. You don't know. You don't know. Jason's got a massive vision for where we're going to be, for example, just for Christmas, for example. I'm more pessimistic. I can't see it quite as high as what he's thinking. But the way we're going at the moment, Jason's vision is there, and I think that the more... some of the... I mean, FPL Penguin, as an example, came out with an interesting point, and it's something that I always think, which is, when we don't do a live stream, people almost get... what's the word?
Withdrawal
symptoms, yes. And I'm exactly the same. I actually had this on Saturday. This is going to sound ridiculous. I did a 3.5 hour, 4 hour stream on Saturday, Soccer Saturday, and we'll be bringing that back on this Saturday, by the way, everybody. But
yeah,
I then went off air, albeit due to internet issues, but that aside, the following morning, I was praying that Jason did a stream, and then I put on YouTube and it said Elite FPL new video, and I was just like, oh my god, this is absolutely amazing. Because why? Because what me and Jason are doing here is creating this massive story, this massive narrative where everybody is involved now because of the Cash Mini League, and everybody just wants to have their say. It's crazy, and it's not about, I keep saying this, it's not about me and Jason. Me and Jason just sit in front of a microphone and a camera and just talk. But then we get people like yourself on Phil, people like yourself, Kev, and are like, I don't want to talk. Can you just talk for yourselves and have this conversation? Yeah, like I say, what we've done, what we've created is this this monster that's just growing and growing. And I'm going to be honest with you, we are being noticed within the FPL community for the good. For the good. And
you're winning the award this year.
Well, I actually
you and Jason are going to have to work out a deal that you have it for 2 weeks of the month and then he has it for the other 2 weeks.
Funny you mentioned that, because before Dan left the stream, I did say to them both in the... I can't even remember. This was like the end of last season. I said, do you know what my vision is? This time next year, I want us three to be going up to the award ceremony in Manchester. In 2020. That is just one goal that I had. And
Steve, not you. I don't want to sound like I'm belittling the other streams, but you're just leagues above them with this Discord and the way that you can bring people in. When you watch other shows and you just see chat, it's not even worth watching.
No, and it goes back to the... This is why I love doing this show, because of this conversation now. I'll happily talk for another hour, another 2 hours, another 3 hours. I couldn't care less.
That's one thing I do. So when I work night shifts and I've missed some of the night shows, I'll come back and I'll be watching it, and then partway through the show you go, oh right, one more caller, and then I look how long's left. The longest that's been left is an hour and a half, and you've said one more caller so far.
We did that. We did that the other day. I said I'm going to have to end it now. See you later. And then I said something along the lines of, actually, I'm going to do what Boona tells me to do, which is persist. And I think I went on for like a further hour. And this is what this show is about. And again, this show isn't here to talk about other streams in a negative way. Other streams, at the end of the day, are fantastic at what they do. But what I will say is that for me, from my own point of view, is that I personally, when it comes to streaming now, I'm personally getting bored of an individual just talking. I find it fascinating hearing from the community when people like yourself come on. When I listen back to the streams, I cannot stand listening to me. I'm just like constantly saying, just shut the up, Steve-O. Just let this guy speak. But whenever Jason speaks, I'm like, keep talking. Whenever you're on Phil or Statman or whoever, I'm just like, this is just so refreshing hearing different points of view. Well, if I'm thinking that, how many other people are thinking this? And it's like...
That's the thing. There's so many different points of views. You got Boona believing whatever he thinks, right? Which, debatable. Matt, G-Wiz, Arman Dillon that was on before me. And they're all great players. That's another thing. How many players could you see being in the top 1,000 from our community?
Well, at the moment, it's not actually that high. Unfortunately, some of the guys, I mean, if we quickly look over...
Ignore that, though. It's all chip players up the top.
Yes.
At the moment, Steve.
Yeah, that's true. And just a quick one, just to make the point regarding our chat as well. I know we've already mentioned it, but... It's the fact that, as I keep saying, it's like one giant conversation. I'll give you the example, what I just get so bored of, full stop, regarding... This isn't on streams anymore. This is just fantasy football, full stop, which is, me personally, I get sick to death of seeing the same question over and over and over. There is only so many times you can ask, who shall I captain, to be given the answer of Sterling or Salah, if they're the two options. And... There's only so many answers that can tell you, well, just go with Salah because he's at home to Newcastle. You're just going to be...
De Bruyne this week, by the way.
Oh, really? Go on. Is it because of the stat of him always getting double-digit hauls at home?
Yeah, I fancy him. I can see Salah scoring against Chelsea, but I don't see him getting a double. De Bruyne's the best option I got, really, this week. Or maybe Pookie. De Bruyne or Pookie are my two.
Pookie against Burnley. I think that we'll win that. I'm thinking 2-1 either way, but I'm thinking 2-1 to us. I just think that we got a preview show on Thursday, but it doesn't matter. I just think that there's something about Norwich away from home that I think that they may be struggling. I think it could be the home. I could be completely proven wrong, but I just think it's that West Ham result that they had.
The way that Norwich are passing the ball around just looks so sharp on Sunday.
Just going on your point, so Andrew Fong, his overall rank at the moment is basically 3,300. Well, it's 3,330th.
Here you go. I've got it down, Steve. I've got some numbers here. So we go from him. He's on 347. He's 3,300. 17 points to Arman is 330. He's 26k. 311 points is 144k. 294 points is 548k. 297, which is what you're on, is 1.5k. And then 264. So
million.
I'm only 13 points behind you, and that's 1.1 million.
Yeah.
I'm at 2.4. So
yeah, it's
what's that? 0.9 million between me and you is 13 points.
Absolutely, yeah. It is a very, very small gap, and it's like Jason made the point. It's like you made the point. It's game week 5, and it's very, very, very early days. And I was even thinking of this this morning, and I was thinking, every season I always start off rubbish and I make the comeback, and I always, this is referring to my old, well, I'm still in it, but the Torbay Elite Mini League that we were talking about last season. Yeah. I always used to start off bad, and then I'd end up coming like in the top 4 minimum, and I'm wondering if it's going to be the same. Sorry to interject, lads. I want to bring on FPL Defender because it's very, very, very rare that we get the opportunity to speak to FPL Defender. So FPL Defender, get ready to come on, because you are an individual who just loves taking hits for fun, but you are actually doing really, really well this year. But I can never find you in the Cash Mini League unless you know Phil where he is in the Cash Mini League. I can never find him, but when you come on FPL Defender, please let me know where you are in the Cash Mini League, and we can talk to you about your team of hits, basically. So let's go. Let's get FPL Defender on, all the way from Sweden. FPL Defender, good morning to you.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo. Good morning, my friend. Where are you in the Cash Mini League?
I think I'm in, let's see here, 30, 40, 39. 39. So 294 points.
Now, you are the hit king. Can you tell our audience why you take so many hits?
Well, I've taken hits 2 times. It's just that I have taken a lot of hits. I did Jason, game week after game week 2, after my wildcard. So it was kind of funny when Jason did the same.
Yeah, sorry, you said you were 39. That was Davey FPL. Where are you, sorry? In the Cash Mini League?
I'm 39. 39, yeah.
41st, Steve.
41st, right, thank you. Can't see anything. Right, here we go. So, look at that front 3. You played your free hit. Wow.
Yeah.
Tell the audience as to why you played your free hit this game week, rather than taking a hit.
Yeah. I was on air, I think it was last week, and the weekend before I did a mistake. I was on the app. I don't know if the glitch is still there, and I was having a night out, and I remembered I did something wrong, and I woke up in the morning and I had done like minus 16 in transfers. So the rescue was the free hit. The rescue.
Wow, and 48 points. How are you feeling about that particular score?
I'm feeling
Liverpool
really,
defense.
really bad. Aubameyang saved me with his haul. I would have had like 55 or something, or 60 with my old team.
Oh, for good, really? Let's just quickly bring up that old team then, just to rub it in, to rub salt in the wound. Punky and Cantwell alone.
Yeah.
God, blimey. That is a major. And Wan-Bissaka. Oh, and you would have had not Maguire. No, Greenwood. Sorry. Wow, how unfortunate is that? I'm just going to quickly look over your game week history here. So you've used your free hit, your wild card, your triple captain in game week 1. You've done how many transfers here? So you didn't do any transfers in game week 2, but then you did 4 in game week 3, and then 3 in game week 4. So you've taken 20 points worth of hits this season so far. Are you happy with what you've done here?
No. If I remember, after my wild card game week, after game week 1, if I just had my team doing nothing, I would be I think rank 1 in the cash league. So no, I'm not happy.
Hey, say that again. Repeat that, please.
After my wild card, after game week 1, I did well, and then I took minus 12. But if I just kept my wildcard team and just had that team, if I count the points and take away the minus 20 I have done, I would be rank 1 in the cash league.
Is this simply based on you not transfer? I've got your game week 1 team up on screen, so this is based simply on not transferring any players.
Nah, check the game week 2 team, because I did a wild card. Yeah.
No, I
Game week
understand
2
that,
team.
but you said that if you hadn't have wildcarded, then you would have continued doing.
It's the week after he's on about. He took a minus
12
12
I see.
or what it was on game week 3.
Oh, I
Yeah, so
see. Right. Yeah.
So if you check the game week 2 team,
Yeah.
if I just held that,
Right. I understand. Right. Yeah. So for anybody listening on audio, in game week 2, the wild card was Tom Heaton in goal, Digne, Zinchenko, Van Dijk, Wan-Bissaka, Salah, Sterling, Martial, McGinn, Aubameyang, Pukki, and then Lundstrom, and then Dendoncker and Greenwood on the bench. We don't need to worry about them. But so, and that is a guaranteed. That's a fact, is it? If you'd have stuck to this game week 2 wild card team here, you would be first in the Cash Mini League.
yeah, either first or
Certainly in the top 4.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I remember that Buna was doing a calculation with my minus 12, and with the new team I had, I was like minus 40 on it.
No way.
Yeah, like minus 12, and then 20 points. My wildcard team had 20 points more than my minus 12 team.
Can I just a quick one here? Good morning, J&O, and this is a guy that actually, in my opinion, does streams, in my opinion, correctly. And why? And I said it live on air to him, because he's relatable. If you're relatable live on screen, you're going to enjoy the stream even more. And J&O is, he's live in chat now. I'm sure if you want to ask him any questions, but if you're not a subscriber to him, J&O, just type it on YouTube, and you go and subscribe to him, because his content is certainly his live streams. I absolutely love them. They're very similar to our format, if I'm honest with you. Very very
They work
enjoyable.
well then for.
There's a lot of tangents that go on in there, but anyhow, off that slight side note. So back to FPL Defender here. So if we move on to game week 3, and this is when you took a minus 12. Yeah. Can you remember what... I mean, I could probably bring it up now, but I'm not going to bother. Can you remember what your minus 12... Oh, you got rid of Aubameyang straight away. I'm assuming
Salah.
for Kane. Oh, took out Salah as well and everything. Yeah. Blimey, and then moving on to game week 4, where you took a minus 8. I mean, why did you take a minus 8 after a minus 12?
I guess rash, fast decisions, like I guess Jason have done. I've learned a lot of lessons now, and
So officially, this is your team for game week 6. So for people listening on audio, we've got Tom Heaton in goals, Zinchenko, Bowley, Wan-Bissaka, Digne, De Bruyne, Sterling, Cantwell, Salah, Aubameyang and Pukki. Are you going to be doing any transfers?
No, my feeling of the defense is that I have to switch to another formation. So my plan is to save the bank transfer and then maybe go either Digne to 4.0 and go up to let's say Mount, or downgrade Sterling. It depends if he's gonna perform now. I could go down to Son and then go to Abraham.
What you mean, upgrading then Greenwood?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
Ooh,
I want to get rid of the 4 at the back. So
I'll ask you, Statman, straight away the dilemma that a defender has got here. Would you get rid of, depending on how Sterling performs over the next 2, and that's including Champions League? I saw someone mention in the chat last night that he's got the Champions League and the Watford game to prove himself. Oh, and by the way, I wanted to ask you something about something you said in pre-season, but we'll get onto that in a second. So would you do Sterling out for Son and then upgrade Greenwood to Abraham?
Not this week. Maybe after the Liverpool game. What was it? You said it give Sterling another week, was it, Steve?
Yeah,
another week.
So basically, the Champions League and the Watford game.
And Watford. Oh, you can't argue with it. If Abraham's banging in hat tricks and braces like they're going out of fashion, the way Son performed last week, this weekend gone, and Sterling on a bit of a slump. I personally think it's a 50-50. If you stick with it, you'll do well. If you gamble, you're going to do well. It's just, I don't know. I know a defender loves his hits, and some will pay off, and he'll be laughing, and then he'll rue the days he made the incorrect choices. But yeah, it's a flip a coin one, really, isn't it? Sterling could smash a hat trick at any point, and Son could blank.
Well, talking of smashing in a hat trick, now you were somebody in pre-season, I always remember this conversation with you, that said that Sterling, whenever he used to get a haul, he would then go and well, basically not perform, and surprise, surprise, he got that incredible haul during the international break and then came back and didn't return anything. Do you still stick by this thought process?
Well, kind of, because after his hat trick, when did he get his hat trick? Was it game week 1?
Yes, game week 1, yeah.
Well, I didn't have him, and I was going with Kevin De Bruyne because I thought he'd match him. He hit that hat trick, and I went against my own rules and brought him in for cover. I know he scored in game week 2. He got a single goal, but since then he's done nothing. So he kind of has done it in a way. I know he got the goal after his hat trick in game week 1, but he's blanked. He's got a goal and then blanked. So I still believe he's one of them players. But in that theory, he's due a big game in the same sense, Steve.
While you've got that up, can you just click on their fixtures as well, Steve?
Yeah, certainly. J&O is straight in there with his stat crunching numbers, and he's saying that at the end of the day, where is it? I've just seen it. Sterling is still equaling Aguero's underlining stats, and maybe this particular game week, based on the history, Boona did come out with the history saying that Sterling's history versus Watford is excellent. You know, maybe I will be captaining Sterling after all, rather than Salah or Aubameyang. But defender, your team, I'm looking at it now, and barring Bowley, I think it's an excellent team.
Yeah. I really like my team. The transfers to go to Abraham, it was just thoughts. I'm not gonna. I mean, if Sterling banks this weekend, I'm not gonna transfer him out or something. I'm just having like a feeling. How can I go to either 5 on midfield or 3 at the top? So it could be Salah to Son, or Sterling to Son, or of course Digne to 4.0 and go to Mount, then Donker to Mount.
In my opinion, Salah would be the better option, only because if you look at Liverpool and Man City's fixtures, I think City's got a nice gap of 3, and then you could bring Salah back for game week 10. Then you've got just swap Sterling to Salah for game week 10, because that's the way I've had to go about it. I can't really go with both, so now I've had to look. Now I'm on Salah until after the Sheffield United game. Then I'm going to be jumping to Sterling.
My thought process is that what you also have discussed, like who is the man for the team, and for City, the problem there is you have Aguero, you have KDB, and you have Sterling, and then you have Salah. It's for me, it's like Salah is the easier choice to keep because he's the man. He's gonna assist. He's gonna score. In City's case, it could be Aguero blanks and Sterling do good, or Sterling blanks and Aguero do good. And then if I go to Abraham, who's gonna have a good fixtures, he's gonna be the man for Chelsea. So I don't know. We will see.
Yeah, I completely agree with that thought process. I'm somebody like you, which loves having players that are key. I mean, I'm stating the blinking obvious, but are absolutely essential to their teams. Like you've got up on screen now, Aubameyang. No one scores for Arsenal other than Aubameyang. No one scores for Norwich other than Punky. Not literally, but you know what I mean. Aguero and Sterling are virtually in the same ball camp, but let's be honest here, everything goes through Aguero with Kevin De Bruyne setting everything up. You've then got Salah. Salah and Mane are virtually, in my opinion, almost equal. It's just the fear factor of not owning Salah due to his explosive funds, but both of them are...
And his ownership as well.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I think for your team, Defender, it's going to be one of those where save your free transfer, don't do anything, see what you do next week, and then you'll be able to do what I did last night, which is almost a mini wildcard, and be able to reflect on what players are worth bringing in. Because by that point, we're almost talking international break by the time you've got 2 free transfers. So maybe just wait and see with the information that we'll have in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah. I'm thinking, like you said. I mean, like you said, my team is good. So, and who knows? It could be a mistake to go away from the defenders for at the back. Maybe it will change path. But it's so many good goal scorers at the moment that's the reason no clean sheets.
Who are you planning on captaining this week?
I know the history for Sterling versus Watford is like 6 goals on 2 matches or something. I was checking up. He did a hat-trick last year or something. So it's hard, but on the other hand, he hasn't performed for 2 weeks. So maybe the safer bet would be Aubameyang.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. All I can say, Defender, is make sure you listen to that history on the preview show. FPL Defender, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you, my friend. Cheers, dude. I'm going to bring on Manish. Manish, I don't recognise the name, and as me and Jason always say, it's always nice bringing on new callers. So, Manish, you're joining myself, Phil, and Statman on this early morning Elite FPL breakfast show. Good morning to you. Hello, Manish. You have just unmuted your mic. Nope, he's not there. Fair enough. Okay, we'll bring on Karoz. Karoz, if you could just unmute your mic and we'll bring you live on air. So, Karoz, you're live with myself, Phil, and Statman on the early morning Elite FPL breakfast show. Nope, he's not there either. So we'll bring on. I'm not Jason. Davey FPL. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning, Steve. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear, my friend. How are you this after now game week 5 is now completely finished?
Yeah, I'm feeling quite comfortable. I had a good wildcard game week 4, so.
And where are you in the Cash Mini League?
I was 88th in the Cash Mini League. I think I've risen to about 50 something.
Really? That high? So have you overtaken me then?
I've not actually checked. I'm too busy trying to chase down Buna.
Wow, Davey P, 50th. If anybody can help me out here, maybe you, Phil or Statman, have a better thing in front of me. Davey, oh there you are, you're 66th. Right, okay.
Oh, 66th, because of the Monday game, it pushed me down a little bit.
So this is after your wildcard team, And
Yeah, well,
you captained Aguero, but you have got the big hitters in Pukki, Sterling, Mane. Oh, this is a lovely team. Apart from, what do you reckon I've got an issue with in your team?
the double Leicester
Yeah,
defence.
spot on.
That was one of the great moments 15 minutes before the deadline.
Oh, go on, explain to the audience, Phil.
Before
I
the
had
deadline this week. Go on, you can tell him.
No, okay, fine. So I had Emerson and he was red flagged, and I was debating like who to put in, like Matip or Chilwell. So I slumped for Chilwell just because Leicester have got some good upcoming fixtures. Instant regret on that one. It was like a rushed decision.
I mean, you say they've got good fixtures. Tottenham at home, they're going to concede. Newcastle at home, there's a chance they'll keep a clean sheet. Liverpool away, not a chance. Burnley at home, not a chance. Southampton away, possibly. Crystal Palace away, no, can't see that. I don't understand this Leicester loving. If you want to explain to me why yourself and various others are going mad about Leicester defence, I just don't know what the aurora is about this.
I just like Chilwell for his attacking stats under Rodgers. He gets a lot of crosses in the box, and his average position is really high up the pitch compared to other like attacking fullbacks in teams.
He had a nice
I
shot
think
against
there's more
United the
attacking
weekend.
returns than there is defensive returns from Leicester.
Yeah, I'm just one of those where you say all this stuff about attacking returns and his underlining statistics are great, and then I look at last season, I don't care what you say, he got 5 assists across virtually playing every single game. That for me ain't good enough. Not
No.
from my point of view. When if you're basing your choice of bringing him in for attacking returns, I'd rather have. I know you've already got him, but Digne is the prime example of somebody that you're going to get in for attacking returns, because give or take, he will get you attacking returns every other game. It's virtually guaranteed. But players from Leicester, it's like an assist once in a blue moon, virtually. You'll get like that assist randomly against somebody that you're not expecting him to do it against, but then the teams that you're expecting, probably a clean sheet or maybe an attacking return, he does absolutely nothing. I mean, what are your plans about this double Leicester defence? Are you going to get rid of it? Are you going to stick for one more game week?
I'm going to get rid of the Chilwell because I kind of want to have Vardy and maybe Maddison for game week 7.
Right, yeah.
For their nice run of fixtures. So I'm probably going to take Aguero out for Vardy for then, which is risky. And then that move will allow me to do Greenwood to Tammy.
Yeah.
And then I'm probably going to do Chilwell to either Vertonghen or Toby Alderweireld for Spurs' good fixtures.
Right, okay. I'm just looking at your game week history here. Oh, you did do the wildcard in game week 4. You didn't exactly make many transfers, did you? In your because I was just looking over your game week, your transfer history. There weren't many transfers made for your wildcard team. I could be going completely wrong here. I'm getting it live on screen now, and yeah, you only made. Oh, I stand corrected. All right, you made hundreds. Right, I'm being a plonker now. But you did your wildcard team and everything, but then the following week you got rid of, like you just mentioned, Emerson and for Chilwell and whatnot. But yeah, this season so far, let's be brutally honest here, you're 66th in the Kashmir League. How are you feeling so far with the season?
I think I think everyone's just starting to get to grips with it now, because every season is different, and people like the big at the back was like really important at the start of the season. I think everyone's starting to realise now that you're better to push your funds further forward the way the season's going. There's very few defenders that are giving both clean sheets and attacking returns, or like value for money basically. So I think everyone's just trying to scramble and push the funds further forward.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling quite comfortable going into the next the next few game weeks before the next international break.
You
I think
must-
the team's well set up.
Yeah, you must be loving the fact that you own, wow, Punky, Aguero, De Bruyne, Mane. Let's be honest here. Your front six, and if you were to throw in Cantwell, 7 is excellent, but it's at the detriment
Yeah.
of your defence. And we had the discussion earlier on about the fact that is it worth having quote unquote premium defenders in the team, and what are your thoughts on not really owning premium defenders apart from one in Digne?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
I was just asking about your thoughts on only owning one premium defender in your squad in Digne, and then the rest of your squad not being that great, defensive wise.
I think there's better. Other than Trent Alexander-Arnold, there isn't really any premium defenders other than Dean that actually look like an FPL asset at the moment. I don't really see anybody that I want to invest funds in, especially even the really cheap ones, because you don't really know how they're going to perform. I think defence is the hardest thing to pick this year overall. But I think I'm probably going to stick with Dean at least for the long term, because he's one of these players that can, as soon as you transfer him out when he's not scoring points, you'll end up getting a double-digit haul. He's one of these frustrating players that will just go on long barren runs sometimes, and then get a red card, and then 20 point hauls. So he's a frustrating player to own, but you have to just hold on to him, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you on all that point of view. So how are you, overall, are you happy with your season so far this season, obviously?
Sorry, you kind of cut out there, Steve.
Yeah, I'm having a feeling I may have to end this stream because, surprise, surprise, we're having some... Oh, we're not... Okay, fair enough. We're not actually having tech issues. Can any of you, Statman or Phil, is there any issues with the stream at all, or is everything working perfectly fine?
The stream seems fine. I don't know if it's just something with Discord causing you to break up.
It's more the chat, the actual live chat.
Yeah.
Nothing's coming through, and there we are straight away. Something's cropping up. Okay, everything seems to be fine. Okay, strange. It's just no one was speaking for about 5 minutes, which is unusual because it's been constant. Anyway, back to Davey FPL here. It's amazing, isn't it? You go on for an hour and 40 minutes, everything's fine, and then all of a sudden, like that, everything starts crashing down. Like the indicator down there is telling me to basically stop streaming, basically. But we are going to persist, as they say. FPL Defender, you were saying about Davey FPL Davey P. You were saying about the season moving forward.
So the season moving forward, yeah, I think everyone should be investing their funds further forward. It depends on whether or not you want to go in high in midfield or high in the strike force. There's more FPL assets in those positions now. Like with Son coming out of the form, gives you another option because he's basically a forward playing in the midfield. You've already got the likes of Salah, Sterling, Mane already in those positions. So I think if you're not on a wild card, I would be tempted to play it in the next couple of game weeks and shift funds further forward, because you're right in the middle, like right at the beginning of a massive fixture swing.
Yes. Yeah.
As well, so if you want to capitalise on those fixtures for those premium teams like Arsenal, like Man City, like Spurs, I mean, you're not going to get 3 premium teams like that having a good run of fixtures until the second wild card. Because the fixture swing, like big Christmas fixture swing, is filled with teams like Crystal Palace and Southampton and Sheffield United. I mean, you don't want a wild card for those players, for those teams.
No. Talking of which, what are your thoughts on my -4 that I took?
Sorry, you are kind of cutting it a little bit, Steve.
What are your thoughts on the -4 that I took last night?
the -4.
Well, are you aware that I did this?
No, I wasn't aware. I didn't finish watching the stream last night.
Oh, you're banned then. So basically, last night I decided to take a -4, which involved Barnes, Ceballos, Van Dijk out for Rico, Cantwell, and Aubameyang. What are your thoughts on that?
I like 2 of the 3.
And that's the thing. The other one being, I'm assuming, Rico in for Van Dijk. Don't you worry. I'm not happy with that at all. That's why I'm.
That's not a bad move though, Steve. He's going to tick over points. His fixtures are fairly decent coming forward.
But he plays.
Yeah, if he gets his game time.
Yeah, that's the issue. It's game time and the fact that he plays for Bournemouth. They're not exactly notorious for clean sheets.
But I think there's a little risk with Aubameyang because Lacazette's injured and he's got quite a few nice home fixtures coming up between now and like game week 14. I think he plays Aston Villa at home, Bournemouth at home, Wolves at home, and Crystal Palace at home. I think's the other one.
Aubameyang, along with players like Aguero, and I'm going to be honest here, I'd throw in Punky almost, and Salah, Mane. I put them in categories of if I'm predicting points, I'm going to be giving them a minimum of a goal every game. I mean, Aston Villa at home, I said earlier, Aubameyang, a minimum I would expect a goal. And I can see him getting a goal and assist. Man United away, I mean, if Emre does what he likes to do, which is attack, Man United are there for the taking. And I think I'm going to have a Monday night captain for game week 7. And then Bournemouth at home, God, blimey, that's delicious. And then Sheffield United away, I think that says there. Sheffield United away. That's going to be, I think that, do you know what? In the next 4 fixtures, Sheffield United away is the one fixture where I can see Arsenal slipping up.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think there's points for Aubameyang.
Yeah, absolutely. Davey P, have you got any final thoughts before we let you go?
I'm still can't believe Jason took a -16.
Oh yeah, of course. I was supposed to ask. Please elaborate.
I don't know. At the start of the season, he was really calm and assured, and taking his time with things, not rushing into any knee-jerk transfers. And then, ever since Man United fell off a cliff, it seems like Jason's just turned into FPL Defender, playing hits, playing his Wildcard. I'm not happy to expect him to play his bench boost next week, or I don't know what's happening.
His bench is terrible. He'll never do that.
He's just the complete opposite.
I think to myself that, so we get asked this question, well, not asked this question a lot, but a lot of people make this point about when you put yourself into the public forum, so to speak, literally on a worldwide platform, which is YouTube, and you do FPL content content, people assume that you're a tipster site. Now, we keep banging on about this, that we are nothing to do with tipping or anything. If you don't like that, then just unsubscribe. Me and Jason couldn't care less. We are here to be building a community, a narrative and a story around a cash mini league that we are taking seriously, and it's just exploded. But anyway, that aside, I think that there is something. I'll be honest that whenever I'm on here, I do feel a tiny bit of pressure that I am talking to an audience in which you don't want to come across like an idiot if it completely falls. Take the Kevin De Bruyne captaincy as a prime example. I had the captaincy on him versus Brighton, and I took it off last minute because I thought I'm going to look like an absolute prat if I keep that on him. And I thought I'm just going to go with the safety option because at least then I'm going to be in the same boat as everybody else. I know that's
Yeah.
ludicrous, but there is a tiny bit of psychology where you do feel something where you think, oh God, if I do this, it's literally on screen in front of lots of people. Whereas Jason, I think it may be the fact that he's caught up in what he did last year. Now, for people unaware, last year, I'll bring it up now, Jason, he was, oh God, can you remember? He was in the top 100, wasn't he, or in the top 200? Is that right?
I remember you had a show on that was live one game night, and he had a ticker up, and he was refreshing it every 5 minutes to see where he was going. But I think he did get up to like 127 or something like that, if I remember right.
Yeah. I thought it was high. Yeah, that's right, because that's right. He wanted to break the top 100, but he never managed to do it last season. But last year he ended up 1,369th because the last final game weeks was a complete utter disaster because he was really going for it to try and push the top 100, and he knew that he wasn't going to drop out of the top 5,000, let alone the top 10,000. And I think that he's not quite playing up to what he did last year with his hits and everything. But
Jason's just saying that he did get to 87.
Officially? Oh, he did he? He got to 87th officially. That's absurd. Well done. I mean, that is just an amazing... well, it is.
He's getting... Yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe Jason doing these streams and everything, he could be... God, this sounds ridiculous saying this, but maybe playing up to a character which is known for taking maverick moves and everything and paying off. It could be that. I don't know. Maybe that's the deep down thought process. He may not admit it. He may come live on air in a minute and say, do you know what, you may be right there. I'm playing up to something. But for me personally, I personally feel a tiny bit of... I can't think of a word that makes pressure sound less bad. It's not. I don't feel pressure. I just feel that if a maverick captaincy move, i.e. Kevin De Bruyne, doesn't pay off, and for example the safety option pays off, I'm just gonna. It's gonna be absolutely awful. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's really, really weird. We'll be here all day talking about the
I can't remember if it was you or Jason that mentioned it, but it'd be better that you was to say, I'm thinking of taking this -4 or -8 to do these moves, and then you actually do it, than to come on, say on Sunday, not have said anything during the week and say, on Tuesday I did play about with moving him in, but I didn't want to do it.
Say that again, Phil. Repeat that, please.
You know how some people will come on, say on a Sunday stream, and you've not heard from them throughout the week, and then all of a sudden they might say, I was thinking of swapping Barnes to Punky this week, but I didn't want to do it. But whereas you and Jason, if you say that you're thinking of doing something, you'll go on and do it.
Yeah.
So I think it's better off to be that sort of person than to be talking in hindsight all the time.
Yeah, I hear exactly what you're saying, and I think that, again, you are watching two guys that take, along with you lot, that take fantasy football, certainly being part of a Cashman League, really, really seriously, and you're just seeing the, well, as Brett Mollison always goes on about, the emotional... How's the drive anyway, Brett Mollison? We've been going over for 2 hours now. Hopefully we've been keeping you company. But as Brett Mollison says, it's this emotional roller coaster, seeing how we're coping with this Cashman League. It's so weird. But so you're thinking, Davey P, that maybe Jason's... The term losing the plot has come up. Are you going along with that thought process, or do you think that... I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, originally I kind of thought that. I thought he was completely mad. But looking at it objectively, I think he made a mistake. I think looking at it, I think he made a mistake playing his wild cards when he didn't need to. and then he's kind of fixed his mistake with a -16.
Yeah, I am.
I mean, he's put funds up front, and he's got 3 brilliant forwards. His midfield looks much better.
He just got blinded by that game.
If he gets his captaincy right in the next few weeks, he's gonna get ridiculous amounts of points.
Yeah, it's like when Andy Salter spoke to Jason about the wildcard, and it was what he did was perfectly fine. It's the fact that he didn't need to wildcard, and technically he's missed out on 11 points overall. In fact, officially he's missed out on 6 points. Officially, he actually lost out on 6 points because originally he did his
and lost 1 mil in team value.
Yeah, that's it. Taking the -16, it will pay off down the line. His team looks as I stated. I think if he'd have done that as a wild card, I'd be like, oh my god, that is amazing. The front three of Aubameyang, Punky, and Aguero it's disgusting. You know, it is absolutely absurd. But he's had to do a -16 for this. And your thoughts, Davey P, on the fact that he's doing it now in game week 5, and by the time game week 7 comes around, he won't have to do any moves whatsoever, and he'll have he'll be able to do everything for free, so to speak.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I watched Mark Sutherland's last year on a Breakfast Club do something similar. He took a -16 and then took Aguero out after he scored like that double hat trick, and he put in Sterling and just left the captaincy on him, and he ended up like shooting up to like the top 200. It reminds me a bit of that a little bit with Jason, especially since his game week history is really, really strong, having a really good strong finish last year. But he's I just think if Jason gets his captaincy right, I think he's going to be the one to beat in the Cash Money League. Personally, if you finish above Jason, then you're probably going to. If you finish above Jason, you're probably going to win the Cash Money League, I reckon.
That's a statement.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Yeah, before you kick in there, Statman. Now we're going to go on for 2 hours. You've made a very bold statement there, Davey P. Now, we're not just talking about me and this isn't about me and Jason doing the Torbay Elite Mini League anymore. This is the Elite FPL Cash Mini League where all of you guys are involved, and Davey P has just come out with a statement that if this team basically pays off the captaincy and everything, Jason is going to be the one to be challenging for top spots. He's the one that's we're going to have to beat. Do you want to just clarify that point, Davey P, before Statman comes in?
If you look at it, Jason's the only one taking like really big risks, but like, his risks that he's taking right now are like really high reward. If you look at the players he's bringing in, like he's still got most of his good chips. He's only really played his wild card. He's still got his triple captain, his bench boost, his free hit. Like most people at the top of the Cash Mini League have already played most of those chips.
Actually no. I've got it here from last night. Why is nothing? Here we are. So show me the Mane whose seconds used his triple captain. The other 3 have only used a wild card. So they're kind of in a similar position to Jason. And Jason last night this was based on before the game last night, was 29 points off top spot. That doesn't include his 16-point hit. Add on the 16-point hit, you're talking nearly the 40-ish points there. In fact, it was... Yeah.
That's fair.
And then you have to
40
take...
points isn't a lot, though.
Yeah, and then you take into account the differentials and what people have got on Jason and everything. That's a really, really interesting talking point. Statman, have your say, mate.
Yeah, I can't say I agree. I'm not having a go at Jason, but I just think the league's going to be so competitive. I'm looking at players that aren't falling into the traps of taking hits and chasing points. And although the team does look good, it does it's a cracking forward line, especially. I don't look at that team and worry as much as other teams and managers right now. That's what I.
Oh, I thought. I thought
you'd have a go at me for that.
yeah, I thought you were going to go mad. I'll ask you then, Phil. Have you got any thoughts on Davy P's controversial opinion there?
I don't quite agree with that part. I do agree with the other part though. If you nail your captains, you're made. I think it was Show Me the Mane. He's basically out of 5. He's right on 4, 5 out of them. But he didn't have Sterling in game week 1, so any captain Salah. Other than that, all his captains have been perfect, nailed on the best points player.
Is that right?
Really?
Well, let's try and prove some. Let's see if we can prove that, shall we? So, this particular game week, he captained Salah. That wasn't the best captaincy option in his team, but it paid off.
It may be the person that was top of the overall thing, but that's basically, if you get the captain so much, I can't remember who it was, but someone captained Mane this week that was on last night, and that was basically 60% of the points for that.
Blimey, yeah, I can't remember who that was, but you are right, Phil, and everything, and that's that kind of fascinated me. That I was more offended. I was more offended for the people in our cash mini, right? That statement, Davy P, because Jason, well, I'll do the maths in a minute, but where is he now? I'm trying to think. So he's 22nd in the cash mini league at the moment, and he's on 300.
He's on exactly the same points as me, Steve-O, before his hit. So that's the way I'm looking at it. He's just took a big step backwards. So he's a good yardstick for me to watch.
And he's 40 points off 4th. That's just 4th spot alone, and that's prior to a hit. So he's then unofficially he's 56. No, officially he's 56 points off 4th as of now. Officially, as it stands, he's 40 points off 5th. And again, it's all based. This is great. This is all now coming down to what Jason can do, or what I mean. We're talking about again. I'm going to go back to it. What I find fascinating about that comment is that Jason's one of 98 people in our mini league. Last year, when we were talking about when our main focus was the Tour Bay Elite, it was really down to me and Jason in that Tour Bay Elite mini league because there was no one else within it, so to speak, which. We felt issues apart from people like off the top of my head. God, this brain memory. Ben Towler and I've forgotten the other person. Connor Lee.
Was Ben Wheatcraft one of yours from the Torbay?
Ben who? Wheatcroft? No, I don't recognise the name. No.
But I've got him in the head-to-head next week.
Oh no, we don't actually have anybody from the Torbay Elite mini league in this one apart from former co-host Dan. So. Yeah, I'll be fascinated to hear what other people think of Davy P's. I mean, just a couple of things here. Nasty Ball saying it's an extremely bold statement. Ozzy Boy, wow, Davy. We'll get Ozzy Boy in a minute, actually. Yeah, very, very interesting. Davy P, we'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your day, mate.
Yeah, you too. Have fun. Cheers.
Cheers, dude. There's Davy P there with a very, very interesting statement. We just mentioned Ozzy Boy. Ozzy Boy, we'll get ready because we'll get you live on air in a minute. But we'll try and get Manish on. We tried him earlier on. He didn't come on. He has put his team in the team screenshot section, and he wants to come live on air. So let's get him on. Manish, you're on with myself, Phil and Statman. Good morning. Hello, Manish. Nope, he's not there. There we are then. Let's get on Ozzy Boy. Ozzy Boy, good morning/evening to you.
Hello, mate. How you going?
I'm very well. Now, straight away, you were surprised by Davy P's comments just then regarding well Jason's team and how he is the guy to be looking at rather than the other 98 people in the mini league.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised. I can see where he's coming from because Jason, he seems to have the ability to do all these crazy moves. So, I can see his point, but I just think it's very bold this early in the season to say that he can win the thing just if he hits the captaincies. But yeah, I think if he does hit the captaincies, it'll definitely help. But,
I mean, you could say that about anybody.
Can't put my finger on who's going to win yet, though.
Example.
I mean, you could say that though about absolutely anybody within our Cash Mini League, including yourself, Ozzy Boy. I know you posted your team in the team screenshots, but where are you in the Mini League?
I'm about like, so I think it said on my phone 57th, but I think I'm actually in the 60s, 65th. I think on your screen it says.
Right. Okay. 65th. Oh, here you are. Yeah.
Because it's weird. Phone it says I'm 57th, and then when I click on it and I scroll to me, it's my position. Maybe it's because we're on the same points with other people. I'm not sure.
Possibly, yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I'll ask you. I don't know if did you hear my -4 transfers I did last night?
Huh? What did you say? It cut out.
The -4. Did you hear what I did last night?
The -4.
Yeah, that I did last night. Did you hear that?
Oh no, I haven't heard that yet.
I'll just get your thoughts on it. So I did. It's nowhere near obviously the extreme levels of Jason, but I did Barnes, Ceballos, and Van Dijk out for Rico, Cantwell, and Aubameyang. What are your thoughts on those three?
Oh, very, very good. I really, 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 really want Aubameyang. So I actually have. If you want, I can put. I have a potential wild card that it includes Aubameyang. But yeah, with those things, I'm getting rid of Ceballos this week. No matter what, it's either I wild card and get rid of him, or I get Cantwell in for him. It's one of those two options.
Well, I'll ask.
Well,
let's get Statman and Phil's opinion on that. Phil, your thoughts on Ceballos out for Cantwell, or do you think that Ozzy Boy should wild card this particular team?
I think Cantwell's a great pick. But also I would see how Arsenal line up Thursday. If Ceballos doesn't feature, I think he should get the full game at home against Villa.
Would you wildcard this team though, Phil? Because I look at this team and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah. Like I say, I think he could maybe move Robertson to Ceballos. Robertson and Ceballos would be maybe the only two that I'm not overly keen on in there.
For people listening on audio, we've got Nick Pope, Robertson, Digne, Walker, Salah, Sterling, De Bruyne, Ceballos, James, Pukki, Abraham. I think it's a very, very nice team. What would your wild card roughly look like, Ozzy?
I've put it in the team screenshot section.
Right. Okay.
It's a So basically, the main thing would be getting rid of Sterling for Son. And then I really want Aubameyang, so then I'd be downgrading I'd be downgrading Salah to Mane, then getting rid of Walker and Matip. And Robbo, and then I could get Aubameyang for Greenwood.
I mean, the actual screenshot itself is awful, but we will persist with it.
Yeah, I know.
It's Pope, Rico, Digne, Matip, Alderweireld, and Lundstrom. Mane, Son, De Bruyne, James and Stevens. And so you're going with a 3-4-3 then with Aubameyang, Pukki and Abraham up top. Oh my God.
I was also considering James to Cantwell.
Don't do it.
And then I can improve the defence.
Do not wildcard your team.
If he was to wildcard, I would say downgrade James to Cantwell is a good move, but don't wildcard your team. You don't need it.
No, you do not need. I'm going to bring up your proper team because number one, it looks a lot more nicer on screen, and number two, that team does not. Well, I say it doesn't need wildcarding. My team, I thought, doesn't need wildcarding, but
I think I'm in a similar situation to what you were feeling. After I think Sunday surgery, I think it was, where you said you just don't know what to do really.
How many transfers do you have, Ozzy?
One.
I've just got one. I took a -4 last week, so I don't really want to take another points hit because then that will already be -16 for the season. even though
Did you?
Jason.
Are you in profit on your previous hits?
No.
I am in profit
Ooh.
on the.
Myself,
Yeah.
I've took 3 hits and I'm up 18 points on all my deals.
Ah, nice. So, for anybody listening, we've got Wan-Bissaka and Pulisic and Jota that left. And then came Walker, James and Abraham. So, yeah, you're going to be up by... I can't do the maths, but you're going to be up pretty well on that. Do you know how many points you are up on that, Ozzy?
I haven't calculated it yet, but I think I'm up.
You're definitely up, yeah.
Because Pookie and everyone and Abraham this week was massive for me. It's just a pity he got the own goal. It would have been even more. But
yeah, your team, like mine, is in a situation now where you've. I keep saying this. You just look at it and you go, "What's wrong with it?" And the answer is, well, nothing really, apart from looking at Ceballos. But even then, I'm not specifically concerned. Like you said, I'm being a bit
Personally, I'd go Robertson to Aurier or Alderweireld, and then Sibelius to Madison. Or Mount even. Mount's a player that I think people should be looking to get in. He could be a player that goes up to 7.5 maybe. He's gone up 0.5 in 5 weeks. And when Chelsea's fixtures turn, everyone's got to jump on him.
I just think, I don't know why, but I feel like I don't want to have double Chelsea. I don't know why. It's a feeling. That's why I got Abraham and I got James instead of Mount. Also, I couldn't afford Mount. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure because I think Robertson. I think the Liverpool fixtures aren't the best soon coming up, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep Robbo. I probably won't do Aurier because.
I just said him as an example because if you look at Steve-O where he's got Rico now.
If I was going to get Spurs defender.
But if you look where Steve-O's gone to Rico now, like he said, Rico getting an assist, this like the same sort of thing we're hoping for returns. Trent and Robertson.
To be fair, from my point of view, Rico, going back to the whole conversation about psychology and everything, have I brought in Rico because he got an assist this game week and Jason has him? I don't know, but I only got him in because he's the best option at 4 million. And he's going to be going up in price at some point this week, but I don't know when. Sorry.
How about what would you think of Ceballos to Cantwell and then Robertson to Trent, and then I'd have a bit in the bank?
It's 2 sideways. Well, in the sense of it's 2 sideways for a -4. I wouldn't be doing that for a -4. I would just it's the.
Do you see him keeping a clean sheet against Chelsea?
No, but I just think Trent's attacking threat is a lot greater. But I don't know. I'm so stuck right now. There's also the thing with the wildcard team. I really like Son and Aubameyang and those 2 guys. I feel like I really want. And I think that it's not like getting rid of Sterling. It's not like I'm not having anyone. I'm having Son. He's a world-class player. And Mane, I think he won't match Salah's points, but he'll come close. So, and in some weeks he'll score. So, I don't know. I'm really stuck. But I'm not sure if I probably won't wild card, but I'm definitely considering it.
Yeah, you were completely lost what I was going to say. How are you? I've been asking this question all this morning. So we spoke about my -4. Your thoughts on Jason's -16?
Well, when I saw it, I was a bit shocked because -16. That's a big I don't even want to do that spread out across game week. So it's a big thing to do. But his team was looking that great after his wild card, and I think he needed to do something. And in -16, well, his team looks a lot better now. So I don't know if he can profit off that in a couple of weeks, I think that'd be worth it.
So where are you in the Cashman League? Sorry, 55th or 65th? Sorry.
Well, I'm 60. It's really weird on my screen when I look at the league. It says I'm 57th, but when I go click on the league and go to my name, it says 65th.
Yeah, really that's weird. Right. Yeah. So officially you're 65th in the mini league. You're on 276 points. You're behind me by I think 1 point. I'm sure you are. Where am I? I can't even see my name.
You're 60 seconds, Theo.
Am I? Oh yeah, there I am. Bloody hell. Yeah. So I'm a point ahead of you basically. And how are you planning on moving forward, Ozzy Boy, regarding just players in general? You've already mentioned Son, that's a bit of a differential within our mini league. I'll ask you this question regarding differentials, and you being a Liverpool fan, downgrading Salah to Mane.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that in general?
Wait. You're cutting up a bit. Did you say something Salah to Mane?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on like that move full stop if you were to wildcard?
I think in a wildcard I'd definitely do it because when I'm wildcarding I'm gonna need to free up cash for if I wildcard this week. I'm gonna need to free up cash for what I want to do, and Salah's gonna be one of the people that has to get the chop. Mane is. Yeah, I think he's one of my favourite players in the team, and he's really exciting to watch. He's a phenomenal player, and I think the thing with Salah, he's not that kind of player who randomly, turns the game around. I feel like Mane is capable of scoring in any situation. I think an example of this was in the Southampton game where we were looking atrocious for that first half, and then Mane just goes and scores an absolutely amazing goal from outside the box, and he can just do that kind of stuff, Never, and he's capable of scoring at any point, and I think he's a great player. But Salah as well, he doesn't look as like when you watch him like, oh, maybe he's not playing well, and then you go away from the TV 20 minutes, he's back, and you come back and he's on a double. So he's that kind of player. He's very explosive.
I mean, Nick Reed asking that I've gotten off the Barnes train, and your thoughts on whether you have Ashley Barnes or Pookie. Your thoughts on that? Let's go with Statman. We haven't heard from you for a while. Statman, your thoughts on Barnes instead of Pookie or Pookie instead of Barnes? Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was watching Barnes closely, still am. It's just like you're a Burnley fan. I just feel like Pookie's he's a bit more explosive. Do you know what I mean? Has he got a bit more pace? You'd say I know they've scored similar goals. They've both cracked in hella volleys, and I just watching them. I just much prefer to own Pookie going forward than Barnes.
And the simple answer is that Pookie is in a very, very attacking Norwich team where they're allowed to express themselves, whereas Barnes plays in a team for Sean Dyche where when it comes to the Premier League, he doesn't allow them to express themselves, and they've got to defend. And if I'm honest with you, everybody, again, could I feel like a plonker saying this? I think that Jay Rodriguez could be starting soon ahead of Barnes. Every time he's come on, he's looked lively. He's a bloody brilliant striker. He was the guy that was in pre-season linking up with Chris Wood, and if everybody remembers, Chris Wood scored about 500,000 goals during pre-season, and then all of a sudden it comes to the start of the season, Ashley Barnes starts, Chris Wood gone all quiet. Yes, Ashley Barnes is scoring the goals, and Jay Rodriguez is on the bench, which I was disappointed at. But every time Jay Rodriguez comes on, he looks like a real threat. We've got you on air at the moment, Ozzy Boy. Your thoughts on the Liverpool versus Newcastle game. How did Liverpool look, and do you think, like I do, which is, and I've said this all along, Jurgen Klopp is just telling his players, just score me goals, that's all I care about.
Yeah, well, I think we I think the early goal, I think it was a bit against the flow. I think I was doing some work, so I was kind of half watching it. But yeah, but I watched it closely for large parts. But we looked like we dominated apart from that goal, which I think was against the flow. And yeah, after Mane got that goal back, then we just were completely. And yeah, that point about Jurgen Klopp, I think. Yeah, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. We just want to win the league. Like, it's been too long for our club. I think it's been something like 30 years or something. And yeah, it's time, and we're just going to attack, and you play with our front three who have been so good for a few seasons now. And yeah, I think it's just all about scoring, and we've looked really good. And I'm really excited from a Liverpool perspective about that Laporte injury. I know I don't really wish injuries upon anyone, but from a fan perspective of Liverpool, that Laporte injury could really cost City big time, because if you're conceding 3 goals, I know it's Norwich a pretty good attacking team, but if you're conceding 3 goals against a team like Norwich, when you're meant to be the best team in the league, then you've got some problems.
So, what do you think will, not necessarily what will happen in the game tonight, but how do you think Jurgen Klopp will approach tonight or tomorrow's game versus... It is Napoli you're playing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, our league, I think our group we got selected in was pretty good, but yeah, I can see Klopp not taking it as seriously because we just want to win. I think we just want to win the league. He's got the Champions League trophy now because we won it last time.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's gonna play a good team. There's no way he's just gonna play like Reen Brewster and all these guys. But I think you might see someone get a rest. I think Origi will definitely play. You might see Shaqiri get a start. But yeah, I think our focus should be and is shifted onto the Premier League. So I don't think you should really worry too much about being rested from the Champions League
and
in fantasy.
Obviously, we won't be able to hear your thoughts on the weekend's game versus Chelsea. I've automatically put the captaincy on Salah. I think I may change it to Aubameyang. Then again, it could go on Sterling. Again, everybody stay tuned for the preview show on Thursday evening with myself and Jason. But your thoughts on the Chelsea game at the weekend? How do you see that going?
I think we're very good. Because I think we're very good. Wait, just one. Yeah, sorry about that. Basically, yeah, I think we could score a lot of goals because I think their defense isn't really that good. So, I think we'll definitely concede. We might concede we'll probably concede 1 or 2 goals, maybe even 3. But we'll definitely get the points. I hope at least, and I think we will, because their defense isn't very good.
Do you think that? Do you think that?
Yeah, sorry.
Do you think that Liverpool? Do you think that Salah is actually a good captaincy option this game week?
Oh yeah, definitely. He's a great player, and I don't think really against anyone he's a poor captaincy option. But yeah, Chelsea, their defense is very leaky, so 100% he's a good captaincy option.
And Statman, we'll ask you because, like I said, we don't get the opportunity to speak to many people from your end of the world, and your thoughts on Newcastle versus Brighton. God.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It could go either way. It could be another repeat of the Watford game, and two similarly, matched teams cancel each other out. We could just as easily lose I really don't know, Steve-O. They're hard to judge, Newcastle, this season. It seems like they're pulling out the best performances for the top teams, which we always do. We always, really dig in and give a better account for ourselves in the top clashes. If I'm doing the predictor game, which I will be, I've got to lean to a draw, to be honest, and another draw. Brighton are more than capable of scoring against us, and I think vice versa. But yeah, I flip a coin. What do you think? Do you think Newcastle would beat Brighton, or do you think Brighton can upset?
If I'm predicting that game, I'm going 1-1. I think I'm going to go with what I always say, which is the old. This is going to be the dire game of the weekend. I mean, if you take into account, you're looking at Southampton, Bournemouth. That's goals galore. Leicester, Spurs, goals galore. Let me just clarify. When I say goals galore, I mean as in when both teams score goals galore. But you get the point. A minimum. What I suppose what I mean is a minimum of like a minimum of 3 goals. I reckon. So, Southampton, Bournemouth. Can I see 3 goals in that? Yes. Leicester, Spurs. Yes. Burnley, Norwich. Yes. Everton, Sheffield United. I think that's going to be an entertaining game, but I can see that being 1-0 to Everton, maybe 2-1, something like that. Man City, Watford. I mean that. 4-5-0.
Don't say 6-0. Don't say 6-0 against.
It's got to be 8-0, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got to be 8-0.
This time, come on.
And then Crystal. Good God! Actually, you got 2 games which are dire this particular game. You got no disrespect, but your guys versus Brighton. I think are just going to cancel it. Like you said about the Watford game, I think you're just going to cancel each other out. Crystal Palace versus Wolves. Jesus, that is going to be atrocious. That's 0-0. Again, Wolves are just going to draw again. West Ham United.
I'm not sure if Wolves are home away, but they also play on Thursday night.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
West Ham versus United. I can see that being the. I'd like to think West Ham should beat Man United. Arsenal versus Aston Villa, 3-4 for Arsenal, and then Chelsea Liverpool. I think that is going to be. God, I couldn't even. It's probably going to end up 0-0, isn't it? It's probably going to end up 0, blinking 0, but I can see Liverpool winning that 3 or 4-1, maybe. But again, in the Super. Go on, Phil.
There's not a lot of goals in the history, Steve-O.
Oh, really?
I was just looking at it while you were chatting there. I'll just reel them off, but like 2-2, 2-0, 1-1, 2-1, 1-0, 1-1, 1-1, 2-1, 1-1, 3-1, 1-1, 1-0, 1-1. You know, it's in my mind's eye, I always can imagine that being a 1-1 for some reason. And looking at the history, it's probably been engraved in my memory. So I don't know about captaining a Liverpool asset, to be honest. Looking at that, and
I mean, of course, it ended 1-1 in the Super Cup as well. I mean, based on history and everything, I think it will probably end up something like a very tight 2-1-ish. For
Liverpool.
For Liverpool, yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, if it was at Stamford Bridge, that really could be like a cricket score for Liverpool, because as someone's just mentioned here, Tommy Gunn. This is Chelsea managed by Lampard though, and absolutely. But I did hear that despite them conceding 2 goals against Wolves, he changed the system around. My understanding is, and they looked on absolute fire, and defensively, apparently they looked a lot better as well. Maybe that will play in hand. Like I said, it will probably end up being 0-0. Phil, who do you support?
Man United.
Okay, do you want to give some brief insight into the game upcoming against West Ham then? Do you think it will be that... West Ham...
I think we should win the game. I'd probably go 2-0 to Man United myself. After watching them play Villa last night.
Okay.
Was it Masuaku got sent off?
That's right, yes, yeah.
So I don't know who they're going to have replacing into him. They didn't look that attacking. I'm not really scared of the people that own Haller. I think he's getting a bit too much hype to what he deserves, really.
Oh, is that right? So when you watched the game last night, you weren't impressed by Haller at all? Or was it just West Ham in general that weren't that great?
Yeah, it's just West Ham in general. I think they don't score enough goals, I don't think.
You're not worried, though, that they do seem to put on the performance against the bigger teams at the Olympic Stadium?
if I remember last season, was it Anderson, when it was a Monday night game, he always sort of shone, but he looked like a good player, but he just never performs and gets points. So I don't trust Anderson. I'm Lanzini, Hanna. The only one that did look good would maybe be Fabianski, looked decent last night.
Oh, yeah, the player that I suggested that everybody gets in as a goalkeeper this
your
year.
guy, Gilbert, he did look good as well, attacking.
I've heard this, yeah.
Trying to get forward.
Yeah, and he looked absolutely fantastic in pre-season, and that's why it was such a shock that he was dropped for, I think it was game week 1 and maybe 2 as well. But
yeah,
let's bring on another caller. We've just had Feko. I think this may be the guy that asked us about streaming. I could be completely wrong. Feko22, you're live with Ozzy Boy, Phil, Statman, and myself on this morning's call-in. Good morning. Good morning, Feko. There we are. Unmuted his mic. Good morning, Feko.
Hey.
How's it going, mate?
Doing all right.
We're
62 points.
Say that again.
62 points, I think.
Blimey, how did you get that?
Captain of Bamiyan. You had me on.
Yes, of course, yes. The guy. Did you have anybody playing last night?
I had Haller and McGinn, but they got nothing.
Yeah, of course. Are you disappointed with Allaire last night? Are you disappointed with Allaire last night?
Still, the fixtures don't look great, West Ham, but attacking-wise, they're not bad.
We're reacting this morning to my -4 last night. Did you hear it?
No.
It was Ashley Barnes, Ceballos and Van Dijk out for Rico, Cantwell and Aubameyang. Your thoughts on that transfer for -4?
On Barnes, but it could be a good one. I don't know.
Of course, Aubameyang paid off for you this particular game week. Do you think he's going to pay off against, well, of course, Aston Villa this particular game week?
In looking at the history and the last 5 games, I think they're all been like 3, 4-0, 2-0. Aston Villa have only won like 1 in the last 10.
I've been wanting to check out unfortunately I can't get it, the history between when Arsenal play against promoted teams. That's what I want to look at. Unfortunately, or even when these top strikers like Aubameyang, Aguero, etc. play against the promoted teams. That's what I'd like to look at, but unfortunately I can't find that information. What were your thoughts on Jason taking a -16?
I think he needed to.
And why do you say that?
His team was just not performing, I think. I know it was a wildcard team, but I think he needed to.
And do you think that he is somebody to be... I mean, Davey P came out with a statement that Jason's somebody to be looking at over our shoulders regarding our cash mini league. Would you agree with that or not?
I don't think so. I mean, above you, but I don't think he's going that high.
Do you
want other people have good teams?
But you think that the Aubameyang, Aguero, and Punky strike force is looking solid, like everybody really?
Yeah, I think to me, 2 or 3 strikers is pretty essential. I mean, I've had 3 strikers all season.
And which 3? Remind everybody who those 3 are.
I've had Haller, Pukki, and Aubameyang.
Oh wow! Have you had that all season, or was it just over the last few?
I brought in Pukki in week 2.
Oh right, okay. But you've caught the halls then, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Feko, thank you for joining us. There's Feko there joining us live on the Elite FPL. I don't know where Statman's gone. Statman's seems to have vanished, unfortunately.
He's disappeared.
He's disappeared into the oblivion and everything. What was I going to say?
Steve, sorry, who was the three that got promoted last year? Cardiff, Huddersfield,
and Fulham.
Right, Arsenal beat Cardiff 3-2 away. They beat Fulham 5-1 away.
What about home?
Just getting to it, one sec.
Because this is the interesting ones that I want to hear about.
They beat Fulham at home 4-1. They beat Cardiff at home 2-1. Where's the Huddersfield game? I can't find the Huddersfield result.
I don't think it was Huddersfield. It wasn't even Huddersfield. It was Wolves. It was Wolves, wasn't it? And they had
Cardiff. Oh yeah, Wolves. Sorry.
Yeah,
Wolves.
but they struggled against Wolves. I know that much. But if you were to put into, if you were to throw in,
it was 1-1 with Wolves.
Yeah, but if you were to throw in Huddersfield, who were they are this actual calendar year. I think they've won. I think one game all year. That's crazy. That's absolutely nuts. But Faggy is asking in chat, Steve-O, is he captaining Salah this week? It's a possibility. I said that I think he's going to run riot against Chelsea, but I've made this bold statement actually, that I think I'm going to go with whatever the history suggests that I should go with, because the history for the past 5 game weeks has pretty much hit the nail on the head, to be honest with you. Oi, Alfie, Callum Wilson's an underrated pick and not many talk about.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Because I looked at it this morning and I realized he's returned on every game. And if I looked at it from the start of the season, because I had him, if I looked at it and I was like, he's gonna get at least 5 points every game for the first 5 weeks, I think I would have been on him. And I wouldn't have complained if I knew that was going to happen. But because we had all these people like Punky who has been better and everything, but I don't think he's a bad option at all. He's the 6th top forward at the moment. So yeah,
he is. But do you not feel that for 8 million, you could spend that money in other areas of the pitch, i.e. in the midfield or whatever? That's the issue.
I'm 100%. Yeah, I'm definitely happy I made the transfer because it was Wilson to Pookie. But I think if Pookie didn't do what he did, I'd be happy with Wilson. Because I think the only reason why I got rid of Wilson is because of Pookie and how good he had been in those 2 weeks. And I'm very happy that I got Pookie instead of Wilson, but I just think he is definitely being overlooked, and he could definitely be an asset. Because I don't know what his ownership is. Let me check.
Who's this? Pookie?
No,
Wilson.
Callum Wilson.
Oh, Wilson. I would guess it's 10% less.
He's like 9.4.
Yeah.
So, but I've been tinkering with this potential wild card. And I figured out a way to keep Salah, and that is to get Cantwell instead of James. So would you rather James and Mane or Salah and Cantwell?
James or Mane or Salah and Cantwell?
Salah and Cantwell.
Yeah.
Salah and Cantwell all day.
Yeah.
Salah, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I might do this. I'm not sure because I'm looking at Aubameyang's fixtures and I just can't look past that. It's insane.
We're talking.
I've got a great plan. Ozzy, let's flip a coin to see if we're going to do it. Get the coin out, Steve.
Yeah, get the coin out.
Should I do it?
Well,
do
you feel the pressure of the audience watching this like Jason maybe and feel like you need to do it?
Maybe, but I think I'm going to do it because either way I'll be happy. I've got a coin out. All right.
Well, hold a minute. Let me do it because, of course, this is when I won't have a coin. Well, this is typical. I won't have a coin. I don't carry cash on me.
Do you want me to flip it? I have a coin right on me.
Go for it. Right, okay. It's going to have to be best of 3. And before you start this, let's get the audience involved. So chat, if everybody could say, right, so do we go heads to do this transfer? So Ozzy Boy, could you please remind the audience what the two transfers are?
Oh no, that's not true.
This is for the wild card, Steve-O.
Oh, for the wild card, sorry, yes.
Yeah, so they would be out. It would be Robertson. Well, this is just for a wild card, but this is what I'll probably do. So out would be Robertson, Walker, Sterling, James, Ceballos, and Greenwood, and in would be Alderweireld, Otamendi, Son, Cantwell, Steffens, and Aubameyang. Those would be the moves.
Is there any way of you being able to screenshot your team and then?
I think he posted it in the.
Is that what you've actually posted in the Discord, Ozzy?
I know. So I put I'll send a screenshot.
Could you resend the screenshot, because it's such a terrible image that I want people to kind of be able to see on screen what's what. And while you're doing that, I'm going to quickly get a coin, because I think it'd be better if I do it live so people have an image of what's actually going on here. But it looks like we're going with. So what I'm going to do, everybody.
Okay, so basically, I'll. So you see the teams. My team that's currently is already in the thing, and I'll send. I reckon I'll send.
Well, if you could.
Wait, what do you want me to send through?
Send through your proposed wildcard team, Ozzy.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
It's not gonna, annoyingly, it's not a screenshot, but it'll be a photo, so...
Right, okay. Yeah. Hopefully the screen will be okay.
Wait,
and,
is it... Yeah, alright.
Yeah. So what I'm going to just quickly do, don't panic everybody, I'm just going to go for a quick break just to find a coin, and then we'll be right back in about 30 seconds. So I'll be right back, basically. So hold that thought. Stay ready, because we are going to be doing a live decision for Ozzy Boy regarding whether he does the wild card or not. Hello there, and we are back live on air, where I've just gone and got a £2 on So we are going to be going with heads. So for everybody that's just joining us right now, Ozzy Boy has.
You should point the camera at the coin.
I'm trying
to see the actual flip.
Hold on a minute. Let's that better? Would that be right? Yep, that'd be perfect. Right, okay, so we've just slightly moved the camera, and basically we're saying that heads to do this wild card, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliberately bring up on screen the team that you have right now, and you've posted in the Discord, is that correct?
Yes, so in the team screenshot I have my wild card team at the bottom, which is the most recent one, and my current team is a bit up.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on the big screen, because it'd be more clearer your your actual team, and I keep forgetting where you are. I keep asking this. Oh, there you are. Right.
65.
Yeah, right. So up on screen now, everybody, is Ozzy Boy's team as of now, and he is planning on wildcarding. Because why, Ozzy Boy? If you could just let everybody know why you want a wildcard.
I'm annoyed with my team, and I need a Bamyang, and I really want Son. So, and defenses are a waste of time.
Right. Right. Okay. So, I mean, I can only apologise to everybody watching because the screenshot is. I don't mean to be rude, Ozzy Boy. It is terrible, to be honest with you. And
yeah, I know, because I couldn't. I couldn't.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And so this
screenshot.
is. So for people listening on audio, this is the original team. We've got Nick Pope in goal, Robertson, Digne, Walker, Salah, Sterling, De Bruyne, Ceballos, James, Punky, Abraham. But Ozzy Boy is wanting to do a wild card, potentially based on this flip of a coin. And it's up on screen now. It's a terrible picture. So for people on audio, Ozzy Boy, could you tell us what your proposed wild card would be?
Okay, so the team would be. So do you want the full team or the moves?
Just the 11 that you'd probably be starting.
Alright, so the 11 would be Pope in goal, Digne, Alderweireld, and Otamendi, but the defense might change because I have 0.4 in the bank, so I might tinker a bit with it. Then the midfielders would be Salah, Son, De Bruyne, Cantwell, and the big front three, which I'm excited about, would be Aubameyang, Pukki, and Abraham.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. There is a lot of people basically simply saying that you shouldn't wildcard. Are you sure you want to do this?
Well, okay. Let's hear the chat. So let's see. Okay. So if the chat, I want to see. So put yes if you want me to do it, and no if you don't want me to do it.
So essentially, everybody in chat, as Ozzy Boy just said, do we do the wild card for this particular team? Yes or no? And
then that will do the coin toss.
There we are. The answer.
Do you want to toss the coin or no? Basically.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, everybody's saying no, and it's most people. I'm going to be honest with you, Ozzy Boy. Most people are saying.
Oh no, there are a ton of yeses coming through now. Oh.
Yeah, a lot of people. There's predominantly no's though.
Yeah. All right. So, well, I don't mind. Whatever you guys want.
It's Ozzy Boy. So. You're a rival, so I'm saying yes. For the entertainment of this show, you've got to do this flip of a coin to see if we should wildcard.
Stuff it.
Yeah?
Stuff it, let's do it. Everyone's
saying
yes now.
Well, hold on a minute. We've got
even though they're all repeat messages, but okay.
We've got FPL royalty in chat at the moment. It's Simon Bellamy, the best. And saying so. We're going with heads to say wildcard. Tails to say no. I'm going to move the camera down a bit here. Maybe to the... there we are there. Hopefully this will work. So, heads to wildcard.
So, best of 3, yes?
And the best of 3. So, here we go.
Alright, let's do it.
I don't know. I don't want to... Right, but that was a heads. It's fallen off. No. But that genuinely was a heads. This is not going to work, is it? But that genuinely was a head. That's ridiculous. Okay. Right then, 1-0 down. Here we go. Here we go. I'm closing my eyes. Oh, it's a tails.
Oh my god.
It is legitimately a tails. I don't want to This is I don't know why it's funny. By the way, everybody, this is your rival, by the way, so come here for tips. We'll give you a tip, alright? To destroy your team.
What's the good?
Right then, it's down to this. Right then, I'm praying Very poor coin tossing. What do you want me to do? Throw it 50 foot in the air, faggy? Is it faggy or faggy?
Get it over and done with.
Okay. It's down to this. Is it going to be heads or is it going to be tails? Here we go. Hey! A bit higher, a bit more. I'm not looking. Oh, it's a tails. Oh. It's a tails. So, Ozzy Boy, you don't need to wildcard. Ah, that's rubbish. That's boring. Rubbish. I give up now. We're ending the stream. Right, okay. You don't need to wildcard then, Ozzy Boy. In all seriousness, I applaud you for providing the entertainment that has just been given, because that is so don't do it. However, you've got one free transfer, and I personally legitimately think you should just wait for the Arsenal game to see what happens in that, and do what Phil said, which is see what Ceballos does. But I think it's Aston Villa at home. I think you should just keep, because you're in the same boat as me. But your strikers are a lot better than Barnes and Punky. Abraham's a better upgrade than Barnes, and I was in a position where I needed to get rid of Barnes, so to speak, and I wanted to get rid of Ceballos because I think he's a waste of space. I know that's slightly contradicting, but I think in your situation, the fact that you took a -4 this week, I think that you should just hold off. You've already said that you don't want to take any hits. I personally think just stick with the team you've got, and then maybe look at the your team after this particular game. We can see how it performs, mate.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, so I'm not sure. It's either, I think now I'll probably won't hit the wild card in the end. But yeah, it's gonna. I'll either do nothing or do Ceballos down to Catwell. I think those are my options.
Yeah, cool. What I'm going to try and do is I would never normally do this, but out of respect to Manish, I'll be honest with you. We've tried you twice, mate, and you haven't said anything. Unfortunately, now he's gone. Brilliant. So maybe his internet's gone. We'll go with one final caller on today's show. It's Punky R. He's literally just come on. Punky R, you are live on the Elite FPL breakfast show with myself, Phil, and Ozzy Boy. Good morning to you.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you loud and clear. Where on earth are you?
Sorry, your voice is cracking. Could you say that again?
Whereabouts are you? You're outside somewhere.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you clearly.
Yeah, we can't hear you much either, unfortunately. I'd love to get you on, but unfortunately you can't hear us, we can't hear you, I'm afraid. Ozzy Boy, we're going to end the stream now. I can only say thank you for the last 2 minutes of a wonderful show there. So have you got any final thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, well, I think the wild card will come soonish, but I don't think it'll be this week now. And one more thing, I really like your shirt, Steve-O.
Ironically, it's too small for me. The actual it doesn't really matter. They're a death metal act basically, and that's all you need to know. Just a death metal act. Ozzy Boy, thank you for joining us live on air. Actually, if you hold on a minute, 2 seconds. We have got FPL Booner here with us. Good morning, FPL Booner.
Morning. Let's keep it going, Steve. 2 more hours.
Mate, I'll be honest with you. I need food. I'm desperate.
Yeah, make delivery on Uber Eats. About these days.
Steve-O, McDonald's don't do £quarter 45 minutes.
I'll tell you what.
Hey, Uber Eats delivered to your door. Get it sorted.
Talking of actually, hold on a minute. We may go on for another hour. Hold on, Boona. Your wish has been granted because Arman Dillon is back. Arman Dillon, please be able to. Oh, come on, Arman. Don't. Arman Dillon, you're live with us again. Oh, he's keep.
One sec, mate. Let me sort him out. I know what he's doing. Bear with us.
Okay, yeah, cool. Okay. On to the point of McDonald's, by the way, Phil. I don't know if anybody's tried the new one that they've brought out at the moment. It's a double quarter pounder. That is absolutely superb. But what I would say to you, McDonald's, is that it's a bit pricey. Maybe you could just drop the price down by a couple of quid, because £6.50 odd for the meal it's disgusting. So if you could just drop the meal price down, that'd be great. But actually,
the spicy nuggets are good as well.
No, disgusting. I only stick with quarter pounders. I was so angry. I went to the Regent's. Oh, where is it? Regent Street. No, not Regent Street. Baker Street McDonald's, and they gave me chicken nuggets, which wasn't helpful whatsoever. So, Arman Dillon.
Steve-O does the McDonald's crawl instead of pub crawl. Try bringing him in now.
Yeah, Arman Dillon is live with us. We're probably now going to go on for a further hour. So, Arman Dillon, we had you on earlier on. We were just about to talk to you about your team, and then you completely dropped off. You're doing really well in the Cash Mini League at the moment. You're 7th. You've just posted up your team that you're going to go with this particular game week, because you've already made a transfer. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So I made 2 free transfers. I've transferred out Dindonka and Zinchenko for Mason Mount and Grant Hanley. So that's the question I had for you, Steve-O. I mean, like, I was just going by the history. I even have Rico, but Rico hasn't been doing that well against Southampton. Then I checked, like, Burnley and Norwich don't have any history at all. So do you think Norwich can keep a clean sheet against Burnley?
Nope. That's going to be 2-1 either way. Easily 2-1 either way. That's what I think it'll be.
Like, how many clean sheets has Norwich kept in, like, when they played in the Championship? Any idea? Anyone, like, over here?
Say that again.
It was very low. Honestly, it was about 3 or 4, something silly like that.
Oh my God! Out of 40 matches.
Yeah. I mean, it might not be 3-4, but it was very low. I'll try to find out for you whilst we're on air, mate.
Yeah. So I mean, okay. So Steve, what do you think about those transfers? Like, if you check out the midfield. Like, on any given day, the top 7 out of them, like, anyone can get a double-digit return.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're ahead of me in the Cash Mini League by a substantial margin. So I have no right to tell you anything other than the fact that I remind me and the audience of the transfers again. So it was Mount and Hanley in for who? Dendonka and Zinchenko.
Dendonka are out and Zinchenko. Yeah.
So essentially, it's Zinchenko out for Mount, basically. I think,
yes.
But then we've got a defence of Lundstrom, Hanley that never is going to play, Rico, Tyrone Mings. God Almighty.
Well, you never know. I'm kind of thinking about putting Hanley in for Burnley, because statistically, like, Burnley don't score. Like, they're one of those teams which are like with Southampton and Sheffield a little bit. Like, I mean, they score, but they don't score, like, let's say, more than 2 goals in a match.
Okay, so the history between Burnley is going to suggest a... Bloody hell, it's tough. 2-1 to Norwich.
Norwich has to do it sometime in the season. Like, they're going to keep at least 1 or 2 clean sheets. You never know, it might be this game.
Yeah, simply put, we haven't played Norwich for... my maths is right, for 7 years.
50 years.
7 years.
Okay.
The last time we played them was in the FA Cup, and we lost 4-1. But the last league match we played, which was in the Championship, we won at home 2-1. Away it was 2-2. Oh, actually, to be fair,
yeah,
it looks like, based on 2 fixtures at home, we're going to win. But again, this dates back all the way to 2008. So, based on this year, current history, so to speak, it's so tough. I would probably...
So do you think I should... So do you think I should just play Rico and just hope for an attacking return? Because
I'd rather play
I don't think so.
Lundstrom.
Bournemouth's gonna.
Rather play Lundstrom. Yeah.
Lundstrom's got a tough match against.
Yeah, but
Everton or something.
Everton can't score. Even though Everton's home form is really, really good, they just can't do anything. And Sheffield United are going to go there. They're going to be so angry at the fact that they lost to Southampton the other day. I think Everton are going to find it a real struggle. And do you know what? I may even do that move. I may even put Lundstrom in ahead of Rico, to be honest with you. What are your thoughts on that, Boona?
Lundstrom over who, sorry?
Over
I was just
Rico.
calculating their clean sheet. Over Rico?
Or Mings.
I would. Yeah, I would as well.
Oh, of course.
I'd do that.
Tyrone Mings. Get him out the team, Arman Dillon. Get him out for Lundstrom. I mean, you're asking me about Hanley.
I got Mings in for Luca Dean, and Luca Dean ever since I sold him has got 1 and 0, and this guy's got 2 and 5. So I'm happy with that.
Go on, Boona.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, so you got Hanley in over Rico. I was going to criticise that move, but with Norwich's defensive struggles, you think Hanley is going to be nailed once he's back. So it might not be the worst.
Isn't he the club captain?
He is, but last year he was just a bench player despite that. So it doesn't matter that he's captain. That doesn't necessarily make...
Yeah, it's like Jordan Henderson. He doesn't play lots of weeks, and he's
Or even Tom Heaton when what's his face when he was injured, he was still captain, but Nick Pope was playing. So
or Company last year.
Yeah, there we are. There's lots and lots of examples.
So anyways, like what I was thinking, like since most of the attackers this year are scoring and clean sheets are less, so I structured my defense like just keeping one premium, which is Van Dijk, keeping any guy who's 4.5 with good fixtures, and just one rotating defender who's 4 million, and I've got 3 choices every week. So,
I'll ask you the question. Clearly, the answer is going to be yes. Do you think that owning premium defenders is actually a detriment to the rest of our squads, and actually going with what I'm looking at here on screen, you're better off going with cheaper defenders and going with a premium midfield and strike force?
Well, yes and no. I mean, like the whole struggle is about getting 2 premium defenders who are 5.5. You know. And no one's really doing anything.
I'm thinking along the same lines, to be honest. I think I want to
so there you go. And I've got another option. Stevo. So this week, why I did these transfers in advance were like because I wanted Mason Mount. I got him at 6.4, so that's left me 0.1 in the bank. And if you want me to get rid of Mings, I even have I like having options. So I can even go from Mings to Tomori, who's in Chelsea, or get a better keeper than Matt Ryan. So I have that option next week.
Is Tomori a guaranteed starter for Chelsea?
If he plays against Liverpool, I think he's going to be.
Right. What are your thoughts
Apparently
on that,
Rudiger's picked
Boona?
up another injury. Apparently Rudiger's injured again. So 4.5 for Tomori in that Chelsea side. I think he could be great value. I was reading somewhere that Rudiger's injured. I'll have a look, find out.
When he comes forward, he's the same as in that sort of Rico bracket. If you can get an assist out of him or the odd goal, then the clean sheets are a bonus. But Shaban was showed me a video of James. Is it Reece James?
Yeah, he's right back, though, isn't he?
No, but he's a right back, but he plays basically as a midfielder. The video Shab showed me yesterday, he looks really good.
Looking at your team here, Arman, I would hold off doing So, was those 2 transfers for free, or was it for a hit? Arman.
He's gone out, but I don't know where he's gone. But he did say that he said he had 2 free transfers.
Right. Okay. All right. So So Hanley and Mount were for free, were they?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. He's back again. You're back with us, man. I was just asking about whether those were 2 free transfers, which they were. I wouldn't do a -4 to be bringing in a Chelsea defender. I would stick with the team that you've got now. You've done it for free. You're in a very, very good position. You haven't used any chips this season, have you?
No.
No. So you must be very... Can I ask you this question? We had Davey P on earlier. In fact, we'll get Booner's thoughts as well. So we'll start with you, Arman. Davey P said that Jason, he thinks, is the guy to beat in the Cash Mini League. What are your thoughts on that statement?
I think about 30 people already beating him. So...
It's a man.
Look, Jason last season, I remember he's been making these maverick moves, and they've been paying off. So kind of impressed. But I mean, he's got some strange dilemma. Like whenever he goes to the top, like even if he's 30th or 80th, I don't know, like he gets he gets gonads the size of a tightrope walker trying to walk between two buildings and then, tempts gravity or something.
But that was... So, to be fair, that was last season. His previous history in this game is atrocious. It's really, really bad. And I'm thinking... Well, I'd like to think that he's maybe learnt from his lessons in the past, and that's why he did so well last season, and that's why so far this year he's done really, really well. And I'm hoping, along with Booner and various, basically Ozzy Boy, Phil, yourself, that he completely fails badly. I mean, Booner, I saw that you completely disagreed with Davey P, what he said. I mean, your thoughts on Davey P's statement?
Yeah, I was in bed when he said that. I almost fell out of bed. I laughed out loud. I was like, are you serious? Honestly, I see Jason as a barometer that I want to exceed, and go past him, but I don't see him as competition.
And why do you say that? Is that because he's the host of the show and it's just bragging rights? Is it because you've got to know us so well?
Yeah, host of the show, bragging rights. I've followed you guys from the start. And last season he was right up there, and I kept measuring myself against him, saying, look, I want to beat him, kind of thing. So it's kind of continued from that. But yeah, I think his luck is slowly running out. Like wildcarding and then taking a -16, his head has well and truly gone, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, are you happy? What would you be more happy with, the midfield that you've got now, or would you be more happy with Aguero and Aubameyang instead in your team?
No, that's a good point. Like, I'm really happy with the midfield. But, like, in FPL, everything's changeable, right? So, I mean, the only guy who I really want in my team right now is Aubameyang, honestly.
How would you, if you did want him, how would you fund that move? I would assume getting rid of Allaire, but then it would mean getting rid of one of Salah or Sterling or De Bruyne. Yeah, or even Son.
Yeah, I know. I mean... Maybe even Salah, because he's got bad fixtures. I mean, you can take that chance and just give him a run of 3-4 games.
Yeah, isn't there a...
and instead of...
Phil, you'll probably know the answer to this question. Isn't Salah's history versus the top 6 teams not that great?
Yeah, it's not overly great. I think he got... Was it 2 goals against Chelsea? Was his best against the top teams last season?
Wow. Oh, well, of course he's got Chelsea this bloody game week, of course. What a surprise. Yeah, I mean, Ozzy Boy, you are a Liverpool fan. Your thoughts on getting rid of Salah for, it doesn't matter who, but just getting rid of Salah because of his bad fixtures?
I don't think you'd be getting rid of Salah for his bad fixtures. I think the bad fixtures is more for the defence. Because Liverpool's top 2 team, so that means we're going to score against pretty much everyone.
Yeah, and Salah's on penalties as well.
Involved in most of those goals, so I don't really see fixtures. I think fixtures with teams like City and Liverpool, it's more so it's not a reason to get rid of them; it's a reason to get in players from that team. But I think it's a real worry, those fixtures, for the Liverpool defence mainly. But I don't really see it a massive problem with Salah. Unless you're planning to get him in, then you'd avoid him if you don't have him yet.
Well, So just a quick reminder for everybody, it's Chelsea away, and then he's got a decent fixture of Sheffield United.
But if it's for Mane, then I'd probably say you could if you need the money. But I wouldn't really be looking at anyone else.
Yeah, so once he's played Sheffield United and Leicester in game week 7 and 8, it's then Man United away and then Tottenham at home. And then Man City at home in November, which is game week 12, and he's got a nice fixture.
And then also before the Leicester game, he's got a Champions League match. Before the Tottenham game, he's got a Champions League match. Before Man City, he's got Champions League.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah, so that's also fair.
Maybe you might see a rest. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's again.
Yeah, I think so. I think Liverpool, even Spurs. I reckon Pocher said that he's going to rest some players for Champions League.
Really?
So I can see Son being rested midweek. He's going to give more Delhi, these sort of players that are on the fringe at the moment, a chance.
I feel like though with us, we're more likely to rest someone like Firmino, because we have the wingers. You know, I know Origi can play on the wing, but you'd rather.
Origi's injured though.
Is he actually? Oh yeah, he went down, didn't he?
So Firmino will be playing. There's no one else there.
Interestingly enough,
then maybe Shaqiri will play.
You see Milner get a game as well.
Yeah, he probably will.
Interestingly enough, though, Tommy
Lallana.
Tommy Gunn has come out with a point here about the fact that everybody's forgetting about Firmino in FPL, and he's looking really, really good. And Ozzy Boy, your thoughts on Firmino as an FPL option in your front, not necessarily in your specific front three, but just in the front three in general as a striker?
He's a good asset. You just got to, if you don't have other fires in your team and you're able to stick with him, he can tick over. But like I had him the first 2 game weeks and then I got rid of him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. That must be a kick in the teeth, Phil, for you. You had him at the start of the season, didn't really do much, and then the second you get rid of him, he goes and does what he's done.
It's one of those things, Steve. But then I wouldn't have been able to have Punky and Tammy for this game week. So
yeah, that's true. I mean, Arman Dillon, have you thought about getting in Firmino for your one of your 2 strikers?
No, not Firmino. Maybe Abraham or even Callum Wilson, instead of him.
Oh, right, okay. Wow, Callum Wilson, everybody. That's very, very interesting. Would you actually
Steve-o?
Yep.
No, go on, carry on. It's a separate question. I'll ask after.
I was going to ask, man, would you consider getting rid of Allaire after such a poor performance last night and maybe bring in Callum Wilson or Abraham instead for this game week for a -4 rather than getting rid of, say, Tyrone Mings that you were saying earlier?
No, not for this game week, but let's see, maybe after Liverpool, sometime. You never know. I mean, actually, there's no problem with Haller. He's a great player. The only problem is the West Ham team. I mean, they're just atrocious. Some of the time, half the time they play they're gonna get 4-0, and the other half is just complete. I don't know. Can't even say it on air.
Yeah, please do not swear. I mean, it's 9:30 in the morning here, but it doesn't matter. Sorry, Booney, you were going to ask a question.
Yeah. So he is a good player. I mean, I'm going to keep some faith in him. But let's see what happens. Even another move, maybe 4 weeks down the line, I can even get Mane in, for Son, maybe after about 3 weeks.
Yeah,
if I sell Van Dijk.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I really think the difference between Allaire and Abraham is the team that they play for. I think they're similar standard players, but they're similar standard players, but just the team. West Ham, I think you'd rather a player from Chelsea than from West Ham, and I think that's really the only difference why I think Abraham's going to do better than Allaire.
Yeah, true.
Have you? We've had this discussion before, Arman Dillon, about who would you partner Sterling? Who would you partner Kevin De Bruyne with? Would it be Aguero or Sterling? Here's a question for you: who would you rather partner Firmino with, Mane or Mane or Salah?
Salah.
Salah.
Salah, yeah.
So straight away, right? Okay, interesting.
He's just a better player. So.
You know what, Steve? There's actually an interesting trend. Last year, like I think maybe for the first half of the season, Salah, and then you can partner Firmino with Mane towards the last 4 months or something.
Interesting. As ever, I'm just playing around with some transfers on screen and everything, and just like Ozzy Boy. Do I wildcard? I don't want a wildcard. I'm not flaming interested in that.
No. Well, haven't you already done your points hits?
Yeah. I've already done my -4 and everything, and I took a -8 in game week 2, I think it was, or game week 3 it was. I did after.
How do you see how many points hits you've taken?
Say that again.
Did you see in your transfer history the points hits?
Have I seen in my transfer history?
No.
He's asking where they are. If Steve-O scrolls down from, is it my team or points?
Yeah, it's in game week history, isn't it? So on the main screen of your team, on the thing on the right hand side, it will say view game week history, and then on the top left it will show you how many transfers you've made, and then next to it how much obviously it costed. So in game week 3 I did a -8, and that's it basically. And in game week 4 I did 1 transfer, and then obviously this week I've done a -4.
Oh yeah, no, I see it. Yeah, I've took a minus. I've took -8, so I've done 2 -4s. Oh, maybe there's room for another one.
Yeah.
If I want, I'm not sure though.
Boona, you're dying to ask a question. What is it?
2 questions. First one was we need to have a Heung-min Son shaped, a moment. I need to know, like, how do I bring him in? Because I need to bring him in, and I'm unsure which route I go down. Because I think he's gonna be the player to own over the next set of games. I don't know whether to get rid of De Bruyne, Mane. One of them needs to go. I know they're not ideal, but I've got a good feeling about Son. Just wanted to know what your thoughts are and how important you think he's going to.
Well, my thoughts on Son full stop are the fact that, like with Aguero, like with Aubameyang, like with Punky, he is going to be key to what Tottenham do. Whereabouts are you in the mini league, Boona? Sorry.
I am now on the first page, 48.
Oh, congrats! Oh, you're 48. So I thought you were 50 in the 50s.
Yeah.
Right, well done. You're in the first page, and
One thing that I will say that I think Son has over everyone else is he's a player that you can see him getting 10, 12 plus point hauls more often than sort of the Mounts and them sort of.
Well, we got your team up on screen at the moment, Boona. It's it doesn't really matter who you've got, but the point being is that you want Son in somehow, and straight away I'm thinking get rid of Felipe Anderson, and you don't want to be having, well, in my opinion, you don't want to be having Aguero and Sterling. You just want to have one of the two.
Well, that's the thing. I want them both this week, though. That's the problem. So, what do you think the chances of Pookie doing well over the next 2 fixtures are? I ask that seriously because it's Burnley and it's Palace.
So I can see him scoring in both. Burnley at home. Like I said, I can see that being 2-1 either way. Crystal Palace away. We all know Crystal Palace's home form. It is atrocious. And I can see Pookie scoring against them as well. Why not?
So stop thinking about getting rid of Pookie.
I think
you don't want to do that all season, Boona.
No.
If you're going to jump and go back to him, it's going to cost you 0.2 million.
No, absolutely. I think it's going to have to be De Bruyne then. The only problem is De Bruyne's home form's quite good and he's highly owned. So if it backfires, it's going to be painful. The reason I asked about Pookie was I was considering a Pookie, Anderson and Wan-Bissaka out move for -8 to bring in Son, which would give me Mane, Sterling, De Bruyne, Aguero and Son, which would be quite nice from an attacking perspective. But
who would be your defender for Wan-Bissaka?
So it'd be Loughton and it'd be Jordan Ayew because he's got good fixtures. The next 2 games he could score in.
Is Jordan
if you do Pookie to Jordan Ayew, does that give you? I can't see your bench. Is that 3 Palace players?
It'd be 2, Kelly and Wickham.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not ideal. I've been thinking about it, and like getting Pookie out just seems crazy, especially for a -8.
That's awful. That's Boona. I know you're a rival, but that's. I mean, from a rival perspective, you carry on, mate. You do whatever you like. But from a
no, I'm definitely not doing that. I think the most likely move for me, if Son rose last night tonight.
Yeah.
Pretty aware, but
are you going to be priced out of these moves?
I can do De Bruyne for free exact much, so I need De Bruyne not to drop, which I don't know whereabouts he is, but the fact that he didn't play, I imagine some fools have got rid of him.
Sterling could drop tomorrow.
I'm not too bothered about tomorrow. Sterling, mate,
he was at 89% towards the way of dropping yesterday.
Yeah, that's fine. Please keep getting rid of Sterling, because he's going to absolutely destroy you. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think Son's quite an exciting player to own right now. I wanted him in this week as well. I knew he'd do well. He had a decent history against Palace as well.
Yeah, someone came on air the other day and said about Son's history, and that they were gutted that they didn't bring him on as well. I mean, looking at the transfers out, top is Jimenez. Yeah, don't worry about that. And then we've got Harry Kane, but Sterling is fourth. Well, two of my players that I've got rid of, Van Dijk and Barnes, are in the top 5, and then in the top 5 brought in, it's Abraham for obvious reasons, Pookie, Mount, Cantwell, and Son, and he's already gone up by 0.1. Kevin De Bruyne ain't going to go down in price over this particular game week, and if you really want, I would. God almighty, who've Tottenham got again? Remind me.
We've got Leicester, and like Matt Hanley in chat saying, Son's also got a good history against Leicester. He's coming in for me this week, 100%.
Right. So
yeah, well, I also want to have him, but I can't seem to find a way to do it.
Did Jason bring him in, Stephen?
No.
He didn't. So he took a -16 and he didn't bring Son in.
No, he brought in Aubameyang, Mane, Pookie, and a non-playing player.
What do you guys honestly think? I actually have a hunch that Jason is going to wake up on Thursday morning after having a really bad dream, and he's going to be like, "I need to play my free hit and cancel this hit." Do you think there's a chance he might do that?
No, that won't. No. That I don't think that happens. That's his team, isn't it? Because he's already made the transfers. That's his team.
Yeah, no. But if he makes a free hit, it cancels the hit.
Does it?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, 100%. I've done it before.
Oh,
really?
I didn't know that.
Because that's why Defender used the free hit, because he was on the -16.
Taking -16 as well, Defender, and then he free hit it to cancel it, and it takes you back to your original pre-transfers team.
Oh, right. Right, okay.
Well, because, wait, who was it on the, I don't know, it wasn't this stream, but before, they said they had to wildcard out of, was it GW6?
That's Little Saints. I don't want to talk about that situation on the stream.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you have the wild card, you'd play that over free hit, because free hit's a more valuable chip in my opinion. But that's definitely an option to Jason. I mean, he can't wild card now because he already used it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's
I reckon he could.
That's the issue with what Jason's put himself in for, is the fact that he hasn't wildcarded. And if for example, to be honest with you, we all know how fantasy football works, and it never ever happens where all of your strikers score. It never ever happens where it's usually what, 2 out of your 5 midfielders do well. One of your strikers, and then if you're lucky, a couple of defenders, if that. That's usually how the average weekly scoring goes, unless you have one of those freak game weeks where everybody scores. But I mean, this particular game week, Aubameyang, Aguero, and Pookie, I would like to think should all score, but it just doesn't work out like that. And it's going to be fascinating Sunday surgery when we go live to see how Jason's -16 goes then, because all the big games are being played on Sunday, apart from, of course, Man City playing on Saturday afternoon, which we will be covering during Soccer Saturday. So get that in your diary. Soccer Saturday will be happening, obviously, on Saturday. But yeah, you've got Aubameyang that Jason brought in. Of course, Punky's playing on Saturday as well. So we'll actually find out on Saturday. And I wonder if Jason will do an impromptu stream on Saturday evening. So that'd be maybe worth staying tuned for, because I think that Jason will he'll either do a really smug stream on Saturday evening where he'll come in and he'll put up a middle finger to you lot and say, "Told you, look at me now," or he'll do a stream where he's going to be absolutely perplexed at what's going on, where Sterling has gone and battered Watford, Aguero's done nothing, Pukki's done nothing.
He'll be sat there with the sunglasses.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. I didn't, because I don't,
double-decker sunglasses.
When I'm live with him, I don't actually have him on video. So when I saw that this morning, I was just like, "That's amazing. That is amazing what he was looking like last night." But yeah, this Saturday for Jason is going to be pivotal.
And I also, whilst we're a lot of the conversation during this stream and recent streams has been about, right? Can we also just say that Kane has got a good run of fixtures?
Boona, you completely broke up then. The conversation about is what? Sorry?
Sorry, mate. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah.
No. A lot of the conversation during this stream and last stream has been about Aubameyang and, after his performance. But I think Kane might, although he's not showing form right now, I think he might go in, into some form over the next few fixtures. So he's one to watch. Like, he's got Southampton after Leicester, right? And he scored 6 goals in his last 4 against Southampton. I'm going to be getting him in for that game. Obviously, as you know, I'm going to that game and I'm probably going to captain him. But he's one that I think you need to have on your watch list for the upcoming run of games. I really do.
So
I think that depends if you get Son or not, though. I think
I'm getting Son and Kane. I'm getting Son this week, Kane next week for Aguero.
But I don't think so. I mean, if you look at Aubameyang, he's got a good fixture list till the end of December.
Yeah, I'd probably rather Aubameyang over Kane too.
Well, to be fair, I'd rather Kane be a differential for me anyway. So if that's where everyone's going to go, even better for me.
I mean,
there's no way Boona's spending over 10% of his budget on an Arsenal player.
Yeah, yeah, that's the issue. I mean, that Saturday that you're talking about, Boona. Oh, I'm hoping that we're able to. I don't think we'll be doing soccer. Well, I don't think I'll be able to do soccer Saturday that day. But for anybody that's listening on audio, on Saturday the 28th of September, you've got 6 games at 3 o'clock. You've got a lunchtime kickoff between Sheffield United and Liverpool, an evening kickoff with Everton v Man City, and that's going to be I nearly swore then. That's going to be a very lively game. Oh, that Saturday's going to be fantastic. So yeah, stay tuned.
Monday will be good because most people will have Aubameyang away at Arsenal. Well, a lot of you.
Well, Jason's already said that he's getting rid of
Man United. Sorry.
Jason said he's already getting rid of Aguero for Aubameyang after this game week. That's what he said.
He's already got Aubameyang in, hasn't he?
Of course. Sorry, yeah.
So what's Jason going to be hoping for on that Monday night? He's going to be hoping for 4-3 to United, isn't he? With an Aubameyang hat-trick.
That's going to be absolutely absurd. Right, we've been going on for nearly 3.5 hours, and I really, 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 really do want to get some food. I'm absolutely starved. But before we finish, we're not going to just run off. I want you guys to have a final thought process. We'll finish with Phil. You've been with us for 3.5 hours, mate. I can only say thank you for being part of the show.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
Have you got any final thoughts before we let you go?
All I can say to people is just be careful with your hits. Don't rush into two things. You got Champions League involved now, so you need to at least be waiting till Thursday before you're making any moves. Just enjoy the game, have fun.
Wise words, Phil. There's Phil there joining us pretty much being a co-host all this morning. It's been absolutely fantastic. Ozzy Boy, any final thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, well, I just think don't look too deep into fixtures if you're a top if they're a top team and they're a attacker. So this goes for the whole season. If it's City or Liverpool, don't look too deep into fixtures because they're going to score against pretty much everyone. So yeah,
brilliant. What I will say, Ozzy Boy, is that if you come what am I doing here? If you come close to the camera, you may want to kiss the coin because remember it landed on tails, which means that do that again because I was speaking. Give it another kiss. Maybe you can get your dog. Maybe you can get your dog to kiss. But thank you for that wonderful moment earlier on, Ozzy Boy. Really appreciate it. Cheers, dude.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. See you, man. Bye.
FPL Boone, I'm going to save the final words for Arman Dillon. FPL Boone, any final words?
Just be careful with your transfers. There's obviously Champions League and Europa League games during midweek, so be prudent and don't be burnt. And good luck. And cheers, Steve.
No, thank you, Boona. Thank you for joining us. That was awesome. Arman Dillon, you get the final opportunity to close out the show virtually. Any final words before we let you go off and enjoy your day?
Yeah, sure, Steve. I mean, it's great work you put into this channel. It's really fun to watch it and follow you guys. And it's this Cash Mini League is amazing. I mean, this concept is going to keep on growing. You just see next year what's going to happen. And yeah, watch out for the Mings header goal which sinks in Arsenal next week.
We shall see, my friend. Arman Dillon has been an absolute I can't pronounce my P's. Absolute pleasure, my friend. Cheers, dude, and speak to you hopefully again soon.
Yeah, sure. All right.
There's Arman Dillon there. He is 7th in our Cash Mini League, and he has been a subscriber to the show since virtually day one. It's been a genuine, absolute pleasure to have you on the show, to be honest with you, because without people like yourself that do what you've done for this show, we wouldn't be here today. Could I go on for another hour, Cy Bellamy? The answer is yes, I can. Am I going to go on for an hour? No, I'm not. I generally am starving to a bit strong, but I'm hungry and I'm tired. I just need food and I just want to eat food and go to bed. But all I can say is that the three of them just then, Phil, Arman, Boona, Ozzy Boy, saying about, that's 4, saying about not taking hits or anything. Well, I did it. I did take the hit. I did last night. For anybody that still doesn't know, last night I took a -4. It's not to the extreme levels of Jason, but I took a -4. I got rid of Ashley Barnes, Ceballos and Van Dijk, and I brought in Rico, Cantwell and Aubameyang. I have been very, 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 very tempted by hitting the wild card, but I think after today's show, thanks to the advice of many, many of you guys, especially Phil, they say don't bother doing it, and I'm going to go in with this team. We've had some wonderful conversation this morning. I can't believe I started at 6:30. I feel like I'm going to collapse. We've been going since 6:30 this morning, and yeah, it's been absolutely cracking. It's been a wonderful, wonderful show, and I'm just going to get on with the admin. And to show your support, the easiest way to show your support for this stream and what me and Jason do, well, is quite simply this: just hit that like button. It's as easy as it gets. Just hit the like button on your walkout. I'm going to reveal this as well. I've just seen a message from somebody, and let's just put it this way: there may be a guest appearance on a particular show from myself or Jason. I can't believe I've just done that. Yeah, that's between myself and Jason and the other individual, but there's a chance that me or Jason could be making a guest appearance on a show, but that's between myself and the other two individuals involved. But anyhow, back to the admin, wasn't it? So that was ridiculous. So yes, if you've enjoyed the story, hit the like button. If you've been, I saw Tommy Gunn earlier on. It's the first time he's watched this stream. He's been really enjoying it. If you haven't subscribed, Tommy Gunn, or if people that have watched this stream today and have enjoyed the content, this was day 7 of 7 streams in a row. Would you believe? No, 6 days. I can't. Do you know what? I can't even remember when we didn't do a stream. That's how long it's been. But I'm pretty sure this is day 7 of 7 in a row of streaming, and yeah, we are pretty much a give or take a daily stream show. We usually do between 5 and 6 shows a week. I try personally to do a morning show for our Southern Hemisphere fans, because we know that we have got a lot of fans around the Australia, New Zealand way. And I'm fully aware there are other countries, but good God, we'll be here all day mentioning them. And I don't even know any of the other countries. But in all seriousness, I try and do one morning show a week to show respect to you guys that are fans of the show. And there's more than likely chance of... I didn't even mention Statman. Statman, thank you for being a co-host as well. But people like Statman that come live on air, you're pretty much going to be a co-host out of respect for the support that you show. But yeah... If you are interested in the daily content that we bring you, the easiest way to know when we're going live is obviously hitting the subscribe button, the notification button. But more importantly, I always break the news on Twitter/Discord first. So anybody that wants to follow us on Twitter to find out the latest updates as to when we're going live on air, go to Twitter. It's at Elite FPL. That's at Elite FPL on Twitter. And also the Discord, the link's in the description. Obviously, people have been posting the link in the chat as well. If you want to come live on air, like I say, there are a lot of people, and I will make this clear now. There are a hell of a lot of people that message myself and Jason about why aren't you bringing us on the show and everything. Why not this? We try our best, and at the end of the day, you know. We when we do bring you guys on, we need speech. We need people talking, and if you ain't talking, there's no point in getting you on. So we're not being rude. We need, the whole idea of this show is for conversation purposes only, and it's to get your ideas, to get things off your chest, and if you can't talk, then there's nothing we can do. So that's down to your issues there. But if you do want to come live on air and talk about your teams and more importantly get things off your chest, like I just said, just join the Discord and everything. Former co-host, he was on last night for a few minutes. Dan, he is now in charge of the Instagram page. If you are active on Instagram, I know FPL Lad, he is somebody that uses Instagram. FPL Kid, so Cameron Rawcliffe, you'll know him from the chat. FPL Kid, they're on Instagram as well. They're active users on there. By all means, follow us on Instagram at Elite FPL. If you want to be part of another competitive league that isn't fantasy football related but is part of the Elite FPL show, it's elitefpl.com's score predictor game. Yes, Jason has amazingly created a score predictor game for us all to embrace and enjoy, and that's over at elitefpl.com. Go and tune in. Go and visit the website elitefpl.com, find out what that's all about and join in on the fun. The leaderboard as of now, I'm not going to do it because everything will probably crash, so but go over to elitefpl.com. You can sign up for the score predictor game. It's very simple, and you could be part of the score predictor game when it comes to doing our preview show. Other than that, we are going to be having a break, you'll be pleased to know, and the next time we are live on air, it will be our preview show. So on Thursday evening, 8:30, myself and Jason will be doing our preview for Gameweek 6. We will of course be bringing on a caller to go up against myself, Jason and the history. At the moment, I haven't done the calculations whatsoever, but I think the history came out on top, or he came joint with Jason. I can't remember. Both of them were head to head, but certainly the history's looking like it's come on top. And of course, when we do the preview show, you'll be able to find out what the history says regarding a captaincy choice. And as I keep stating, the captaincy has been spot on for the history for the last 5 game weeks. So you may want to stay tuned for that. Other than that, I'm now going to end the stream. Or could I go on for another minute and make it 3 hours and 30 minutes? What do you reckon? Go on for 1 more minute, please. I think I'll just read out Ray Joyce's comment. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there. You can't please people all the time. You guys are doing a brilliant job. At the end of the day, you are completely right. We do try and get on as many people as possible. FPL Boomer, talk about your favourite burger. Quarter pounder with cheese. Quarter pounder with cheese. There we are. Right, I'm gone. Thank you so much for joining me for the past 3.5 hours. If anybody's out there that has joined us for the past, literally been with us for 3 hours and 35 minutes, you're amazing. I'm glad I've kept you company. I'm glad. I can only apologise to the individual that said it this morning that they were having a bit of a downer at work down in Australia or New Zealand. It was one of the two, and they said that I'm going to be keeping them company. I hope I have. And I hope you have gotten over your bad day, so to speak. Other than that, brew. I'm about to watch the stream on the replay. God, 3 hours to waste. Lucky you. Cheers, guys, and see you on Thursday.